byway or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Yeah. You want it? You got it. I learned to get down, yeah. How does this mic work? Hold on, let me check. Is it coming through loud and clear? Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Yeah. We're gonna get started. Here it goes. And 3, and 2, and 1. Hey, the show works. Look at that. Hi, welcome. My button started working again. That's too personal. I don't need to get that personal right out of the gate. Welcome to House Parks Megaworldwide. I am indeed the deep state. I am the Democratic machine. I am Captain I Told You So. I am, your resident wise ass. Because in some cases, wisdom is more important than smarts. But as my mother used to say when people would accuse me of being a smart ass, it beats the alternative. So, she's right. So, hi there. How are you? Sounds on. Everybody's good. Just thanks so much for liking the stream. See, that's why I like you. Because you throw it. Connie does too. Look at that. Look at you liking the stream, giving it that thumbs up, helping us meet and beat the threshold that we are up against in the interwebs, where even to this date, the strange man that everybody, hold on, is this okay, it's this one right here, but it's got to be unlocked. Oops, it's not. Move me over here. There we go. Thank you. Because I lean this way, and so I fixed it. We're fine. Anyways, the rusty trombones of the world, even with all the trouble that he's having and should have, quite frankly, coming his way, still got a lot more subscribers. Listen to me, squeak. A lot more subscribers than I do, so we're trying to make up for that. So subscribe, like, share, etc., etc., etc. Welcome everybody. How are you? And hello, chat room. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see you. How'd you go singing Heart? It was a good time. It was nice. It was a good time. Loved it. And it was so funny because I sang it thinking that somebody in the audience would particularly like the fact that I was doing it. And they're like, that's the one Heart song I don't like. I'm like, God damn it. Can't please everyone. Anyways, so funny. But more to come. We don't have a jam over the Thanksgiving week. So the next one is the week after that is going to be the 6th, I believe. It's a Tuesday, right? That's the Tuesday. So we're going to be there. Yeah. I am. That's right. I'm the Democratic machine. I am the deep state. I may not hit bottom, but I'll scrape the shit out of the sides. Don't be afraid. And we got a lot to cover today. We're never going to get there. We're never going to be able to get all of it because, first of all, like, Jesus Christ, hold on. see if I can even get through these. Where this is, I think this might. No, I think it might be even earlier. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. So, this is going on right now. Trump is apparently helping a grown man jerk off onto his tie in Hialeah, Florida. Hialeah. No, what? Donald Trump is having a rally in Hialeah, Florida? My goodness. What enormous crowds they must have. Eat shit, Manhattan. We've got Hialeah, Florida. Yeah. He's holding a rally. And interestingly enough, a lot of his rallies these days and recently are either these pissant little gatherings in Iowa or New Hampshire that are the same size or smaller than some of his rivals who he allegedly is kicking ass in the polls, which again, I gotta say, I call bullshit on a lot of the polling you see anyways, but the idea that Trump is even beating DeSantis or Nikki Haley, I call that into question too, because I think this motherfucker, between him and the RNC and others, is just rigging the living shit out of these polls. But whatever. That said, he's in Hialeah.
Relax.
And this is Christina Bobb and MTG's main lap dance. They're outside this rally in Hialeah.
Like, maybe we should fight obesity. Maybe we should heart disease. None of that. We focused on just pushing the vaccine.
Ivermectin.
Yeah. Oh, I was.
Oh, dear Lord. That was just a needle drop. I did not set that up. That is literally what they're talking about right now. Like ivermectin. What about ivermectin? Fucking hell. Look at this dickhead. Look at like a Tim Conway character that never happened. Anyway, so this is where they are right now. Oh, the laughs we're having. What about sticking a light bulb up your ass? What about pouring bleach into your lungs? By the way, if ivermectin helped you beat COVID, it's because you had worms. You had worms. And when you have massive outbreaks of worms in your system, it will affect your immune system's ability to fight back on things. So the people who are like, it helped me, that's because you were overran with worms, you wormy asshole. Anyways, so Hialeah, which by the way, not one of his biggest crowds. This is the airport or something? Like this is I've seen high school football games with about the same crowd. Where they've charged money. So anyways, that's ongoing in the background, and she's giving us the what for, sister. Come on. Don't Christina Bobb, let him have it. But hold on, let me see if I can, oh yes. Let's deal with what happened in court today. Alina Habba is very upset. She thinks, by the way, that Letitia James is not very bright. Now, that's the title is Trump lawyer Letitia James is not that bright. Okay, let me float an idea, if I may. If a person is kicking your ass and you call them stupid, what the fuck does that make you? I'm just putting that out there. I'm gonna let that linger. Would you like to smell my finger? My immature friends and I used to sing that in high school when the song Linger came out. I know. All right, so here we go. This is we may bail out on this. I have so much to cover today, but we'll get the right from the horse's ass.
But I was told to sit down today.
Oh my God. Because I stood up and had no objection.
I was yelled at.
Oh, but who?
And I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table.
Oh, well. He's a tough man.
Let me be very clear. I don't tolerate that in my life.
I don't know. I gotta say, what do you guys think the chances are that Donald Trump at some point has yelled at her or slammed a table? What do you think? Yeah. All right.
I'm not going to tolerate it here.
No.
Wow.
I'm a grumpy man. By the way, excellent duck lips. I don't care what anybody says.
That's Alina Habba, the president's lawyer, today at that sham trial. Look at her.
Oh, the shamness
over there next to the president. Determined as anything. What happened?
Determined as anything. You do realize that the court has determined that Donald Trump is a fraud. I kid. I didn't realize this was a Greg Kelly clip. This is very exciting.
In that court. Alina Habba joins us once again. Alina, thank you. Nice to see you. Wow.
He means it.
Intense day.
Wow, you're hot.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing? How you holding up? A table was smacked in your vicinity because you were being a dumbass.
Tired, but I'm great.
I am good. I'm really, I need like a bath and 4 Valium and a CD of Benedictine chants from the 90s and some candles and to not talk to you, Greg. I gotta be honest.
All right, tell us a little bit about what that judge, that was today, that was you. What did the judge say?
Yeah, we saw the clip.
Why how did they, what happened there?
Well,
where with the thing? Where did it go when the thing occurred? What was
first, he was cutting off my client because he was giving tremendously accurate and good testimony.
Tremendously accurate and good testimony. Good stuff. This was sweet. I mean, it was opinion. It had nothing to do with the answer to the actual question. But.
That explained why their case is a complete and utter sham. And every time.
Okay. You do realize that when he's being cross-examined, he just has to answer the questions that are in front of him. And if you want to give him time to blather, you get to do that on direct. You could just, after they're done, you could go, when they brought up that thing you were bitching about, and he told you to shut up. What were you showing? What can you show us what you were talking about there? Can you tell us what you were going to say? What was that when he did it? And they could have absolutely, he could have rambled on and on. But you know what? Trump was too fucking tired at the end of cross to go on direct.
And he would go into explaining how.
Yeah, he's not supposed to explain. He's asked a question. Did you see this document? Did you sign this document? Did you wear this document? Did you know this document? Did you send this email? Were you part and parcel? Were you party to this email? Were you in the room when this was discussed? Were you not? That's the questions that he's being asked by the state. He can say yes or no, or he can go, I don't remember, or fuck you, I guess. But he can't just eat up time going, it's a witch hunt and hoaxy hoax. Because you're wasting everybody's fucking time. If you want to waste everybody's time, you waste everybody's time on direct.
How real estate actually operates and
how it actually operates. Yes. We learned a lot about how real estate actually operates when Ivanka spoke today about Doral.
How banks operate that are sophisticated, that haven't been hurt.
They're sophisticated.
How much money they made off of the president, off of the loans he took and paid off.
Yes, it was significantly less than they should have made because he should have been charged a higher interest rate, and he used loans to pay off other loans and stack them up, and he couldn't fucking get out of Doral right now if you put a gun to his head, which, by the way, don't.
Every time that happened, the judge would get upset and would try and cut him off, and
because he was rambling.
Frankly had enough of it, and
I was like, no! I was like, stop it! I stood up and I said to him, I said, leave Brittany alone! This isn't fair! Oh my God! Stop it! He's trying to answer the questions, not the questions, these mean questions you're asking him. He's trying to answer the questions in his head. The questions in his head. Oh my God. Wambulance.
Myself and my colleagues stood up and said, you cannot continue to cut my client off. And I jumped up.
And the judge said, yes, I can. Sit down.
Up at the end and said, I'm not going to stand for this. You keep disrupting him and you have to hear what he has to say.
No, he doesn't.
Response was, I don't, and I'm not here to hear what he has to say. And I think that says it all.
No, it doesn't, because there's another sentence after that, which is, I'm here to hear his answers to the questions. If you dumb motherfuckers want him to pontificate for a fucking hour on the stand, then do it on direct. They could have done it all today, or yesterday, technically. They could have had him come up before Ivanka. They could have bumped Ivanka and said, we want on direct, we need to bring him back up for direct. Or, guess what? You can fucking do it again. Just bring him back up there. Let it go. Mr. Trump, go. And he could just fucking yammer. This is what I want my client. My client has things to say, Your Honor, and I want them entered into the record. He wants them entered into the record. So we're having him speak right now. That's it. That's all you got to fucking do.
It's exactly what we thought. The man, found us liable before we even walked in the courtroom through.
Because of the paperwork. See, there's that's the thing. You can't bullshit your way past the paperwork.
Motion for summary judgment before we even had an opportunity to have a witness on the stand or have him.
Yeah, that's because materially it's provable just based on the facts.
Listen to our experts. Instead,
what experts would those be? Eric?
He thinks Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million, and this is the.
I think that's mean. I don't think Mar-a-Lago's worth that much. You can't, unless you can bulldoze the fucking place, it ain't worth a dime because you can't sell it. And he's not going to sell it for less than $400 million, so he's not going to sell it. That's that.
Corruption in the situation that we're dealing with currently today, because he's there to make people like Letitia James and the far left happy, not to do his job in an impartial way. And it's really problematic. It's really problematic.
It is problematic. It's problematic. To borrow a left-wing term that it's now, I'm just going to use that. We're the victim here, therefore problematic.
And as you could see, I was fired up. So
yeah, well,
next step, fired, I guess.
Well, good for you. It was.
Yeah, it was so impressive. And could you come over to my house and yell at me? I got very excited.
Passionate. It was real. I just saw Letitia James a moment ago. She comes out there and
you just saw her a moment ago. Your team put video up of her. She didn't walk by your fucking window.
She tries to sound in a certain dignified manner, and
she tries to sound in a certain dignified manner. It's like getting a job where you talk for a living has got to be. It's amazing. It's good where it's when people can do that. It's actually. I
think she's faking it. I think she's a phony, and.
Well, the charges are real, so I guess think all you want. What do you think's phony about her? You think she's not really a black woman? She thinks she's going to pull off a mask, and it's Michael Cohen under there.
I think this
says who? Says who?
This is actually what she's really like. Here she is, 2018 or so, making what I consider to be a racist statement. Go ahead with that, please.
Stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale.
Well, I would argue she was not against them being pale at all, like in general, or male or stale at all. But they're too much of that. I think, technically speaking, too much of anything is too much. So.
Too male, too pale. You get it? Male and pale, they rhyme,
Right, which is why you got to understand, though, to be fair, nothing rhymes with orange. That's it. That you're always going to run up against that when you're talking about Trump. I have a hard time. Rack my fucking brain.
White men, not good, and Scott Stringer just.
Well, too white. You know what I mean? Obviously there's issues. There's skin cancer.
Standing there. Tell us a little bit about this prosecutor. Is there anything you know about her that we don't?
No.
There's so much that I don't think we could finish my block with going through it.
Well, try. Just the one thing. Just, you know what I mean? It's kind of like Comer's evidence or Trump's exonerating paperwork or whatever. There's so much of it. I'll settle for 3 pieces of paper, 2 examples.
This is a woman who taunted the president but likes to act like she's the victim. She
look like, how does she act? She doesn't act like she's the victim. She laughs in court, dumb.
Comes out only when there's a Trump affiliate child or to her.
An affiliate child? Wait a minute. He's setting up LLCs to have children now. An affiliate child. Jesus Christ. So, what the fuck is an affiliate child? Tiffany? I gotta say, that's how most of us might describe Tiffany. She's the affiliate child.
For someone who's a C-suite top person, otherwise she's not interested.
She's a C-suite top person.
In trial, she's never sat at the desk with me.
By the way, there is no mid-management at the Trump organization, dum-dum. The whole thing is just like people with a VP title or Trump himself. They're all either family members or they're Alan Weisselberg. There is no... What the fuck do you think she's going to do? Put the fucking secretaries on...
She's never fought it. She's never objected. She's not practicing law. She's just simply there for PR. Some of us can do both. And
you can do PR and bring home the bacon?
Frankly.
And fry it up in a pan? You just excited Greg.
She's been saying she was going to go after Trump. That's
how she got elected.
How she got elected.
Oh, shit. Well, at least they're coming around. Somebody's been watching my show. Then I got to watch what I say now. Obviously, Alina Habba has watched at least one of my clips about her. So, shit. Now I can't. All right, I got to curtail any accidental legal advice I would give. Shit.
Before she even had the rights or privileges of looking into any New York business. And now she's putting her head into private businesses, which...
Well, you do know it was well known that your client was a complete fraud. He can't even operate a fucking charity in New York.
It should really scare Americans and New Yorkers, going and using a commercial statute that's used for commercial fraud against individuals.
Right, against a business owned and operated by Donald Trump that doesn't engage in any business worth a fuck to anybody. It's just a debt shuffling organization where he just shears off some of the top of the debt and pockets it and uses it to buy fish delights and ketchup packets.
Individuals that don't have a voice against an individual and private company that has made so much money for the state of New York. He has paid hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in payroll tax every year.
Payroll tax.
He is literally...
No. If you're a partner on a building with a bunch of other people, you don't get to claim all the construction people that built that building in the first fucking place. Get the fuck out of here. Or the fucking janitors that work in there, especially when the money that you invested didn't come from the value of your properties or the capital that you were able to accrue. You borrowed it. The fuck are you talking about? There's 5 other partners in most of these towers, and they could buy them out if they wanted to. They just don't want to because these fucking things are terrible.
Literally one of the biggest real estate developers in the world, let alone New York, and changed the sky.
Al, what do you know about Christopher Rudy, the founder and principal shareholder of Newsmax? Well, that there's a competition between him and the dude in San Diego who owns OAN and the RSBN folks, that they're basically just they're trying to do with right-wing media what they accuse quote-unquote left-wing media of doing, and it's hilarious because they're accidentally competing with each other, and that to me is hilarious for nobody, by the way.
Skyline himself, he is iconic, and this woman is just on that insanely left-wing, radical left-wing platform where
just that's insanely radical left-wing platform where people with a measuring tape would, these left-wing measuring tapes that would look at Donald Trump's apartment and go, that's 11,000. And whereas on the right, which we use that word on directional and in terms of its insinuation of correct, true, and all that, it's 30,000 square feet. And if you weren't a radical left-wing measurer, you would know that.
Now she finds that the case should really be dismissed immediately, should never have been brought, but she can't turn...
She does? She found that, did she?
...to the Soros backing people that she has, and...
The Soros backing people that she has. You mean the Soros people that are backing her, or she's backing Soros now? I don't...
say to them, sorry, I screwed up, and I should probably dismiss this case. And that, I think, is what we're going to see, and that's my warning to all of these hack cases.
These hack cases in your ass faces.
Attention to what's happening in this trial. Miss James
Oh, they are.
Is desperate. It is.
No, I gotta say, she doesn't seem desperate. When they show her in the whole thing about her like cackling and trying to compose herself when Donald Trump makes a complete shithead out of himself in the court, that didn't reek of desperation. Unlike someone standing up during cross and demanding that Trump be able to like ramble on ad infinitum.
Is desperate. The judge is yelling at the attorneys to sit down because he doesn't like the testimony, trying to cut my client off because when we get a chance to speak,
you didn't. You got a chance to speak. You could have brought him, you could have just kept him up and did direct testimony. It would have taken you half an hour.
Truth is not pretty for them. It's honest, it's fair. They're a great company. They're worth a lot more than the statements of financial conditions said, and it's not.
So you lied on the statement of financial conditions. You downplayed it. What would be, I'm curious, what would be the fiscal reason for downplaying the worth of your properties? Why in the ever-loving fuck would anybody list their assets as lower than they are? Just to surprise the bank next year? I'm serious. Why? Where's that in Art of the Deal? Is that chapter 7? Deflate your assets.
Not good for her politics, and it's great for his. And that's the truth, and the truth hurts.
Well, according to the polling, he was doing very well a couple days ago. He lost that recent poll put Biden ahead by 5 points. And looking at the elections that happened last night, I don't think it's playing out the way you hoped. Also, the debate tonight, it's debate night, right? Yeah. The Republican debate tonight does not include him, and will basically be treating him like a piñata. And just do me a favor, please. Just bring him up on stage and open him up on direct and let him ramble. And also film it on your phone.
Here is Letitia James talking about real
white people
estate. She doesn't know much about real estate, but here
she didn't know anything about it.
She is talking about 40 Wall Street, a building that I know well, actually. I used to live not very far away, about a quarter of a mile. Take a look.
Yeah, I know every building I live about a quarter of a mile away from. I mean, you could just quiz me on the square footage of the Jiffy Lube and the empty giant corporate building that hasn't been filled yet, and the Starbucks. I think it's a quarter mile, might be a little further. And then, of course, all my neighbors' houses, which, of course, I sneak around in after dark just to, not to steal anything or poke around, just to measure them. What, you don't measure your neighbor's house?
They received a series of bank-ordered appraisals for the commercial property at 40 Wall Street in New York City that calculated the value of the property at $200 million as of August 2010. And $220 million as of November 2012. Yet, in his 2011 statement, Mr. Trump listed 40 Wall Street with a value of $524 million, which
yeah, but that's based on the number I might sell it for someday.
Increased to $530 million over the next 2 years.
Well, the thing is, 40 Wall Street, let's go ahead and put it up on the screen if we could. Iconic property, 72 stories tall. Okay, great. Let me see.
Great. What's the vacancy
the valuation of it. She said it was worth, according to the, Donald Trump said it was $524 million. She said it was worth $200 million, according to the appraisers. But we ran the comps, Alina, and guess what? No-name buildings, and 40 Wall Street is an iconic building. No-name buildings were going for comparable rates in that time period. $750 million for the Helmsley building.
Except
$570 million for 340 Madison Avenue, and on and on.
Yes, all A, super fucking modern buildings. Yeah, with none of the limitations that 40 Wall Street has. And you can knock these motherfuckers down if you want to. You can't knock down 40 Wall Street. That's one of the traps that Donald Trump has gotten into. He can't, at certain points, these old buildings, which are classic and stuff, would be sold in bankruptcy or they get a lower valuation. So he bought these things like fucking, you know, the cheap seats in Monopoly, the cheap squares in Monopoly.
And on.
Gee, I wonder, by the way, it's a good time as ever to contribute to the show. Venmo is a great way to do it. 666, you know, in any derivation of that, if you want to help out the show, that'd be lovely. Because one day I'm going to buy that building, and we're going to, in these 3 floors right here, we're going to put the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Foundation for equitable housing.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, she doesn't.
Just not that bright. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I've seen their case. I've seen their lawyers. They don't know what they're talking about.
Also, you're just picking buildings nearby that are known, that have nothing to do with their vacancy rate, their size, the modernity of the actual construction. None of that is factoring in. Notice how they just kind of put red letters up there next to it. Oh, hold on. Let's go. Let's see. Let me do this real quick. Let's see. 40 Wall Street. Vacancy rate. There you go. Let's see. All right. This would be, here you go. The Trump Organization's most valuable office tower, 40 Wall Street, could be in trouble according to its lenders. Hold on, I gotta find this. It's on a lender watch list. Yeah, here you go. This is, I don't know why they think this isn't the most wonderful building. You don't even know. This is from this year. Trump's 40 Wall Street put on lender watch as vacancies/costs rise. The Lower Manhattan skyscraper, Trump's most valuable, has a mortgage balance of $126.5 million. The mortgage on former President Donald Trump's tower at 40 Wall Street in Manhattan was placed on a lender watch list because of rising vacancies and costs. The vacancy rate, what I fucking tell you, by the way, what I say, I didn't look at this beforehand. They brought it up. I went and looked it up. And pow, you're welcome. The vacancy rate at the 72-story building, Trump's most valuable skyscraper, which, I mean, keep this in mind. His most valuable skyscraper is on a lender watch list because of costs and vacancy rates. It's his most valuable. Climbed to almost 18% as of last year's third quarter, and expenses rose 11% since the mortgage's 2015 origination, according to a monthly filing on the loan, which has a current balance of $126.5 million. The servicer, Wells Fargo and Company, has reached out to the borrower for a status of leasing developments and plans to improve the property's performance, according to the filing. Trump acquired the building in '95 in what his firm describes as one of the great real estate deals of all time. The property was appraised at $540 million in 2015. Major tenants include Countrywide Insurance, engineering firm Thornton Tomasetti, and co-working provider J Suites. By the way, that 540 is his assessment, not the real one. Go inside look at Trump Wall Street. We'll look at that next. Trump Organization has leased more than 100,000 square feet, 9,300 square meters, at the building since 2022, and has additional 40,000 square feet of leasing agreements pending, according to the statement. This is unheard of in the current New York City environment, the company said. Very few landlords have come close to these accomplishments. Office values have been declining in Lower Manhattan for years as vacancies rose. The pandemic exacerbated the problem. Other Trump properties in Manhattan have survived brushes with financial difficulties. Last year, he refinanced the $100 million debt in Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Really? Who gave him the money for that? The debt service coverage ratio, a measure of revenue to the cost of servicing 40 Wall Street's mortgage, fell to 0.92 from 2.13 from the initial $160 million loan was originated, according to the filing. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Inside Trump's most valuable tower. Felons, dictators, and Girl Scouts. A hedge fund manager on the 28th floor who pretended to be dead when investors asked for their money reported to prison in January. A few weeks later, an investment advisor on the 17th floor was accused of running a Ponzi-like scheme. 13 floors up, a lawyer pleaded guilty this month to stealing millions of dollars from clients. It was all happening at 40 Wall Street, across from the New York Stock Exchange, behind golden capital letters proclaiming that it is the Trump building. Iconic and wonderful, Trump said at a South Carolina town hall event last year, praising the 86-year-old Art Deco tower as one of his greatest possessions. But the 72-story building has housed frauds, thieves, boiler rooms, and penny stock schemers since Trump took it over in 95 in what may be the best deal of his career. Which, by the way, again, the best deal of his career, that building is on a lender watch list because the cost and vacancies outweigh the ability to service the loan. He could have, just saying, he could have refinanced the whole fucking thing when he was president. Don and Eric, they could have found a way, but they didn't because they were dickheads. Same thing with Chicago. They're going to lose their stake in the Chicago Tower as well. But the 72-story house frauds, no single property in his portfolio is more valuable than 40 Wall Street, according to Bloomberg valuation of his assets last year. And no U.S. address has been home to more of the unregistered brokerages that investors complain about, according to the Security and Exchange Commission's current public alert list. Trump's tenants. Since Donald Trump took over 40 Wall Street in 1995, prosecutors have filed criminal charges against at least 29 people connected to 12 alleged scams tied to the building. 9 other firms have faced serious regulatory claims. Authorities prevailed in most, but not all of the cases. Many were brought against principals, executives, and other employees, not the firms themselves. Some are still pending. Here are the allegations. Sort them by type of business. There's like a fucking, there's stats here. Stockbroker, currency trading, law firm, business lending, Trump business. Okay, status. Boop. Convicted. You got Viceroy Capital Funding and Direct View Holdings. Sanctioned, Stylus International Law and Aegis Capital. Facing accusations, New York Global Group. No allegation, Premium Merchant, EMA Financial, and Magna. They're still hanging in there. Cheap rents. That's why. Well, that's why. There we go. Why are these people move in here? Because of the tower was built to be the tallest in the world. It lost out and was foreclosed on for a while and was in the secret control of Filipino despots. Today, in addition to housing legitimate lawyers, architects, and nonprofits, it offers a cheap way to grab a Wall Street address. The building's average annual rent per square feet is $36. Mortgage filings show about $20 cheaper than the area's average asking price and less than half of midtown rates. They want that Wall Street address. Guys, they want that Wall Street address. Who's in charge of leasing for the Trump organization, who manages the building, told commercial property executive in 2010, we're basically catty corner from the stock market. What the fuck? Who cares? 11 new tenants were cited in that interview. Since then, the heads of 4 of them have been charged with fraud. Shit. Oh my God. The investor advisor accused of a Ponzi-like scheme this year was John Bivona. The SEC claims he steered client money to a nephew who had been barred from the industry. Another 17th floor tenant. They both worked there. Okay. Both have denied wrongdoing. The lawyer has charged with stealing from his customers was Luigi Rosabianca, whose victims allegedly include a woman suffering from schizophrenia. Current executives at 40 Wall Street include a 29-year-old who made millions of dollars lending money to penny stock companies. A financier fighting criminal fraud charges is on the 38th floor. On the 28th floor, where offices can be rented for $10 an hour, cash advance from Viceroy Capital Funding is run by a man awaiting sentencing for his role in a marijuana smuggling ring. At one point in 2010, according to regulators, brokers on the 34th floor were allegedly helping the financier on the 38th with a penny stock scam. A brokerage on the 17th floor was involved in unrelated fraud, and a bond trading firm on the 42nd floor was bribing a Venezuelan official to win business. At the time, the 32nd floor was the headquarters of Trump University. Oh my fucking God. Oh, stop it. Yeah, there it is. At the time, the 32nd floor was the headquarters of Trump University, the billionaire's unlicensed school. Jesus Christ, he even parked his scams there. is now being sued by New York's Attorney General for allegedly misleading people into signing up for real estate seminars that cost them as much as $35,000 and taught you how to be a dumbass. The candidate calls the case baseless. This is an older story. So the hedge fund manager who played dead the candidate calls the case baseless. Trump mortgage on the 25th floor was launched at the height of the housing bubble and closed in 2007. Yeah, that's where Trump mortgage died. The hedge fund manager who played dead was Mark Malik, and he wasn't even the first to try the excuse. One of the executives at Evergreen International Spot Trading on the 37th floor faked his suicide, according to federal prosecutors, who called another executive there the Michael Jordan of investment fraud. These are all in 40 Wall Street. Their scam came to light when the customers asked about their money after the they were fucking defrauding people after September 11th. Burr's address. Trump wrote in his 2008 book, Trump Never Give Up. What a fucking Cro-Magnon name for a book. Trump Never Give Up. That tenants at 40 Wall Street are, quote, many of the top-notch businesses of the world. Yeah, if a prosecutor's trying to notch their belt with good convictions, I suppose. That was once the case. Aaron Burr, Alexander Hamilton's nemesis, took an office at the site after founding the Manhattan Company, a forerunner of J.P. Morgan Chase and Company, in 1799. Work began on that spot 130 years later for the bank's new tower, which was supposed to be the world's tallest. It was bad timing. Not only did it lose the height race with the Chrysler Building, but Wall Street's 1929 crash made renting out space difficult. Lenders foreclosed in 1940. 6 years later, on a foggy night, a U.S. Army plane crashed into the building, tearing a hole in the masonry. The tower passed through the hands of investors, including William Zeckerdorf, before a group led by partners from the investment bank Loeb, Rhodes & Co. took over in 1966. They would have never called it the Loeb Building at 40 Wall Street, John Loeb, 86, said in an interview. It's very austere, very, if you were well-dressed. The Loeb sold the tower in 82 to an entity that was hiding the wealth of Ferdinand and Imelda fucking Marcos of the Philippines. Jesus Christ. Like, the ties between Trump and, like, you could tell for a long time that Trump was, like, covetous of fucking Imelda Marcos, of Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos. Imelda made a visit in her limousine with Permatan movie star George Hamilton, which I get it. Yes, people say I look like him. I don't understand it, but whatever. Apparently that's a thing. I'll play him in the biopic about George Hamilton. I'll do it. Okay. Anyways, according to Joseph Bernstein, her real estate lawyer, she took in 40 Wall Street and declared she was kind of proud of it. After the couple was exiled in 86, the tower was tangled up in lawsuits, auctioned off, and foreclosed on again. The intrigue even roped in Saudi arms dealer Adnan Khashoggi, which many of you may know from Robin Williams' joke about, I believe it was at the Met. Welcome to Adnan Khashoggi's living room, right? When the Marcoses were indicted in 88 for allegedly diverting money from the Philippines, Khashoggi was charged with helping them cover up the building's ownership. After Khashoggi and Imelda Marcos were acquitted, she walked on her knees through St. Patrick's Cathedral, Bernstein recalled, and the arms dealer threw a lamb feast with belly dancing. By 1993, the building was a vertical ghost town whose windows were dark while the rest of the financial district glowed. Kinsen Properties, an arm of Hong Kong-based footwear and real estate company, acquired it that year. Trump pounced when Kinsen had trouble turning the building around. He said he paid $1 million for the right to lease the building through 2059. The land on which the building sits is owned by a group that includes members of Germany's Hindenburg family, whose fortune came from shipping. They realized shipping what? They realized that after a string of losers who had owned the building, I had the integrity of their spectacular property first and foremost in my mind, Trump wrote in his book. He was in the process of renovating his career when he took over the tower in 95. Billions of dollars of debt that fueled the 80s rise. His casinos went bankrupt. He lost his yacht built for Khashoggi. What the fuck? And he lost his yacht built for Khashoggi. How fucking tied up is this dickhead in Imelda Marcos land? Is he laundering money for the fucking Marcoses? Is that how this shit happened? I wouldn't doubt it. Holy hell. He found new tenants for the building and was collecting about $20 million a year in rent. He wrote in the book, the tower is now worth $550, according to Bloomberg evaluation based on rental income and what buyers typically spend on similar leases. He currently pays $1.65 million a year in ground rent to the landowners. In July, he refinanced $160 million of the debt against the building with Ladder Capital. By the way, Bloomberg went with his evaluation. Even if some of 40 Wall Street tenants have gone to prison, the building has done better than other Trump endeavors. Again, like I said, this is his best performing property, and it's on a lender fucking watch list.
Just because a bank who's giving you a loan says it's worth what the loan amount is, which is what happens when anybody takes a loan out. They're never going to say the real value. They're going to say what they want to say and not a penny more, or what the loan amount is and not a penny more. It is not worth it to them to do that. That's not what they do. She needs to educate herself, maybe go to some, I don't even know how to express how ridiculous this is.
Here, I'll tell you how. Tell us all how Trump paid, what was it, $135 million for Doral, dumped 220 into it, has another 165 million in expenses on it, and couldn't fucking sell it for what he bought it for today. Have at it. How the ever-loving fuck does he justify those loans now? Doral ain't worth shit. We can't sell it for $500 million. It's not going to happen.
They're using tax-assessed values and saying that they're fair market values. Yeah. The judge is agreeing with them. It's like being in a circus with a bunch of,
Let's see, what's in a circus? I said circus. Clowns? No, clowns is too on the nose. What are the people, the jugglers? That's weird. Like acrobats who factrobats.
I want to say I can't say on TV, but it's crazy. You know, it's
fucking clowns.
Just ridiculous. Anybody with a brain understands that this is just completely insane.
Well, don't exclude Greg when he's trying to interview you.
And you know what? People have a brain, because look at how Trump is doing in the polls.
That's
they
right.
have a brain.
It's weird. He's doing great in the polls, except Republicans are getting their ass handed to them in all these recent elections. There might be a disconnect.
He has the people on his side, and
he totally does, because grifter's going to grift.
This is imploding. This stunt, this and all the others, it's not working.
No, it's already worked.
Thanks in large part to people like you, Alina Habba.
Yeah, not you, actually. Just people like you. You know, hot lawyers.
President's lawyer and spokesperson. Good luck. Keep it up.
The president's lawyer and spokesperson. Excuse me, it's spokeslawyer. That's the title. I made it up. That's her job.
Thank you.
You bet.
You bet. So good. Such great stuff. Unbelievable. Wonderful, thoughtful, smart, and stupid at the same time. Great. Just fabulous. Now let me see if I can. So I have no idea when this idiot's going to show up. What the fuck? Okay, grabbing this. I guess that's it. Okay. Now there is, let me see if there's one more. Oh, I think it was Eric. And then we'll get to just how well the election stuff went last night for the Republicans, because, oh joy. Yeah. But I got to say, it's really hard for me to pass up a good Eric Trump whinge fest. If you've ever wanted to see someone completely confused by their situation, totally unaware of the kind of material reality they're in, but mad at it at the same time, Eric's your dude.
Anyway, here with reaction from the Trump Organization is Eric Trump. You know,
what does he do at the Trump Organization? He pours concrete. That's right. So concrete pourer Eric Trump.
Eric, I got to be honest. I mean,
I don't know what you do for a living.
Between valuing, and I know it's not funny to you, and it shouldn't.
No, it's still it's funny to me though. Does that count for anything?
I agree. I'm a dope.
All right.
Be funny to you, and it shouldn't be funny to your family, because this is.
Well, yeah, because they're going to lose their business license, and they might go to jail later because the criminal trial still hasn't happened around this stuff.
It's been, the last 6 or 7 years of your life.
No, it's been his entire adult existence, ever since his dad put him in charge of shit.
I beseech you to control him if you can. He's saying to lawyer Chris Keiss. I will excuse him and draw every negative inference that I can. And then I think my favorite, Eric, is I'm not here as the judge to listen to what the witness has to say. Well, what is he there for?
To listen to him answer questions that the state presents, and then his own lawyers can ask him questions if they want to fill in the gaps. Dumb fuck.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sean,
Yeah.
I take this very, very personally. We've got an incredible company.
It's great. Super great. Our best property has got some of the biggest Ponzi schemes and grifters around, and we park them for super cheap rents right across from Wall Street. You couldn't ask for better. If there's going to be a 2008 trigger, it's probably going to happen in our 40 Wall Street property. It's the worst performing business building in the Wall Street vicinity, and yet it's our best property. Think about that for a second.
never missed a payment. We've never missed a
Bullshit.
loan payment. We pay
Bullshit.
on time every single time. We've
From whom?
never had a default notice. We've never
He's had multiple bankruptcies. They've had to forcibly refinance these fucking things a bunch of times.
reached a covenant in a loan. Our lenders
By the way, one of the reasons why they haven't reached a covenant in a loan is because they've been lying about their net worth that if they told the truth would trigger the withdrawal of those loans. It would call their fucking marker.
love us. Every time we've gone in, we've taken a property, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars of our own money into it. We've made
No, it's not your money. You borrowed that money too. Based on lies about other properties, stupid. And it still didn't pay off.
them absolutely incredible.
Yes, they are not credible.
We've made banks hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
When you should have made them thousands of millions of dollars? I don't know, whatever.
They're all our friends. They've all testified for us, saying that Trump's always done a great job. We're a platinum lender. We've never had a problem. They've
Yeah, wrong.
never called us in default. They've never.
Apparently, that person in that special sector of whatever their fucking bank is okay with their institution making, what, 20 to 30% less on your loans than other people's? I wonder how the investors would feel about that. You think it matters that you were getting to shave $30 million in loan interest off of properties that would have gone into the bank's coffers just because they fucking like you?
Had an issue with our company, but make no mistake.
Wait, did Hannity just do a line of blow?
This isn't.
Hold on. What the ever-loving shit was that? I mean, I know he vapes.
Called us in default. They've never had an issue with our company, but make no.
Yeah, he's just doing rails right off the table. I mean, Eric is boring, but man.
Mistake. This isn't about the law, right? This is about politics, Sean.
No, it's about the law.
You've called it with your show. She came as soon as my father went down the escalator. She came out that very day, and she started going.
No, I think you're off by a couple of years.
Going after him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to take down his family. I'm going to go.
And the New Yorkers went, finally, get that fucking guy. I understood.
Go into the Attorney General's office.
And she got elected.
Every single day, sue Donald Trump, and then go home. And I can't believe this is being allowed to happen in New York. There is no.
Well, it's not only being allowed to happen, the voters insisted on it, fuckwad.
Crime. There is no victim. Our banks made hundreds of millions of dollars off of us. Our banks love us.
They love us more than my dad loves me, which is a low bar, I get.
Never called a default on us.
They didn't call the default on us. They've just warned us, and we went and got some Russian money and patched the hole.
It doesn't make any sense. There's bad people out there every day.
There are bad people out there every day.
That mess around in business.
That's right. Most of them work at 40 Wall Street, interestingly enough.
Cause harm. No one has been harmed. The exact opposite. In fact, our banks, as I keep on saying, have made a ton of money and love us. It doesn't make any sense, Sean.
There's not one lender complaining. There's not one insurance company complaining.
Yeah, but technically speaking, that's part of the problem. because they should have made a lot more money on these loans because they didn't have any way near the ability to secure them, and yet they got the loans anyways.
His language, correct me if I'm wrong, I agree. I'm a dope.
You're wrong.
In every single valuation, when you have a loan application or an application for insurance, you put in language, do not use our valuations, which, by the way, no, they have their own fiduciary responsibility.
Right. This isn't our fault. Look, of course we're going to lie. It's what we do. We're liars, Sean. This is a great way. We've done great business as liars. We work with bankers that are liars. We lie to them. They lie to their bosses. They get money. They give it to us. We lie about where we're spending it. When we get in trouble, we borrow it from other liars and pay it to the person a little bit to further the loan and restructure it so that we never have to pay back that loan. And then the bank, who was lied to in the first place, I don't know what they expect, Sean, I don't know what they expect, gets a liar's fee.
They've got to back up those numbers. They're not going to lend the kind of money that an organization like the Trump organization is borrowing to somebody that doesn't do their own due diligence. That would be impossible. That's insanity. That doesn't happen
Yes, it does all the time. When it's a solid piece of property, there's a certain minor level that even if they get back, let's say 40 cents on the dollar of their loan, they can count the property later on or their ability to sell it off as an asset for the bank. And then they get to write off on the scale of the level that these banks are doing business. They can write off $100 million on the tax liability of the fucking bank. There's a reason why they take these shit loans from super rich fuckwads like these idiots and don't care if they collapse. Because they can write it off. They can leave it. They can lay it off on the taxpayer. Well, we were trying to help some people out, and we got caught under it or whatever. But we still own this piece of property, free and clear, and we've written off the difference in the loan payment and the interest we would have magically fucking gotten.
The real world.
It's the bit. Sean, my dad said, Sean.
The banks are the most regulated industry in the entire world.
Okay. I'll just say 2008 and we'll move forward.
They have to. I mean, they have a fiduciary duty, as you said. They'd get sued.
Right. They're violating their fiduciary duty.
Sued by every share.
Because they have a special wealth management area that allows them to do these bullshit stack loans for idiots that don't deserve it.
Shareholder if they didn't. And that's like Sean Hannity going out to a bank. He's getting a mortgage on his...
Also, by the way, you can argue fiduciary value to your stakeholders, to people who have stock in the country or investors, by saying, we do take on a certain number of properties that if they fail, give us a tax write-off that gets rid of our tax burden. So we play ducks and drakes with some of those. Some of these intentionally die so that we can write them off. And we've found a way to almost completely erase our tax liability through help of the assholes like the Trumps.
Home. He goes to the bank and says, bank, I think...
bank...
My house is worth $1 million. I want you to take my word for it, and I want $1 million mortgage. Of course you're not going to do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to send appraisers out. They're going to appraise the land. They're going to take a loan-to-value ratio to make sure that they have adequate coverage. You're going to put in equity.
Adequate?
The same thing happens to a much greater degree.
Yeah, but see, they're also operating on the idea that you're putting money down on the property, and you're getting a loan for the difference. And the money that you're putting down, they think is profit money from you. So like, oh shit, they got 165 million and this is their appraisal of the thing. That's, that meets our threshold for what it would take to, as far as a base payment for this place. It's almost the full cost of the place. If we have to reclaim this thing, we're going to get all their money back. Not realizing that that's money you borrowed from somebody else based on a lie. You are Montalongo fucking liar.
In a commercial transaction, we would get mortgages on properties and we'd put hundreds of millions of dollars into the properties, only
hundreds of millions of dollars into the properties, which they aren't worth.
Furthering the bank's collateral. No.
that doesn't further the bank's collateral. You don't get to sell a building for how much money somebody put into it, especially when it's something like 40 Wall Street. Also, he's overlapping. He's using the Doral example for this. They didn't dump hundreds of millions of dollars. They put, well, whatever. It's just stupid. Like, you're not going to change he didn't knock down 40 Wall Street and build a new building there.
The whole narrative there is asinine. Again, our banks loved us.
They love the bankruptcies.
There are no victims. There was no crime of any sort. But
yeah, there was. You should have paid a lot more in interest, and you shouldn't have even gotten the building. So other people who might have been jockeying to get that building, you got it when they should have gotten it. So they were defrauded.
Letitia James has to go after my father. And now you see the NRCC and all these different, coalitions. You see all the attorney generals fundraising on the fact that they're going after Donald Trump and they're going after his platform. And
the National Republican Congressional Council?
They're keeping him off the campaign trail so he can't be in South Carolina and Iowa and New Hampshire and all the places he wants to be.
Sure he can. He doesn't have to be there. I mean, if his attorneys are qualified, just go do your shit.
They're all fundraising on this charade. And again,
well, that kind of should let you know that if they're fundraising on it, that there are a lot of people who want to see your dad go down for being a crooky crook.
It's what Letitia James promised she was.
Yes, promises made, promises kept.
Going to do. She promised this in her own.
She did.
Words. I posted 100 of the videos today.
I have played
She's
it again
wanted
and
to
again.
get Donald Trump for the last 6 years.
Right. Because he's been allowed to get away with shit that nobody else got away with because of fame and all kinds of other bullshit for decades.
So the only comfort and
this is the state of the United States of America right now, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, this is what America's like. I mean, obviously it's a smaller area. Americans have less debt and foreclosure than they've ever had in history, and of course, wages are going up and unemployment's at it's stayed at historic lows for the longest stretch in 50 years, and the stock market's going up and blah, blah, blah. But this is America, okay? Because we're having to deal with our own fuck-ups.
It certainly is in New York, but they want to cancel your ability.
It is, yeah. It's not really America. It's New York America.
Ability to ever do business in New York again.
Yeah, it's cancel culture. That's what it is, Sean.
They want some conservator to take over your properties. They want,
which I will. It would be hilarious.
Fine you $250.
You know what would be funny is if they get conservators to take over the properties, and then the properties start actually turning a profit. I mean, it would make money for the Trump, because they would have to, pay out any of those things, and it would all, shuffle towards the state's coffers while they paid off their debt to whatever. It'd be so fucking funny.
$1 million. I guess if there's any comfort, I have a very hard time believing that this would stand on appeal if you get a fair judge, if you're able to get a fair judge in New York.
No, it's going to stand on appeal. They're fucked.
If it wasn't so ridiculous, you would laugh at it, but this is your.
Well, I mean, we've been laughing quite a bit lately. My chat room, myself, I got to be honest, Sean. There's a couple of times over the course of this court case where I have something's occurred on screen, and I have laughed rather heartily.
Your life. This is your family. This is gone.
This is your crimes.
Gone on now for all these years, and.
Yeah, it's gone on for all these years.
A judge saying he doesn't want to hear from a witness? Is this our country? Because that doesn't.
Yes, he wants to hear them answer the actual questions, not just blather. This is really annoying because this motherfucker is pretending. Eric's dumb. Eric thinks this is a point because Eric's an idiot. Sean Hannity has been in court. He fucking knows the difference. He's just playing to Eric and his audience.
Doesn't sound like the USA to me.
Thousands of employees, Sean. Let's not forget about the thousands of employees. These are maids. These are housekeepers. These are engineers. These are drivers. These are bellmen. I mean,
Jesus Christ. All service staff and some engineers.
People who...
And by the way, what engineers? The director in charge of concrete pouring?
Who literally rely on our family and our properties to put...
You think they couldn't get work if those buildings changed hands? I mean, if somebody else owned the building, they wouldn't have doormen anymore, or they wouldn't.
Put food on their plate, you know, on their tables every.
Yeah. Well, you put it on the plate and then you put the plate on the table. I mean, I think it's, you know, I mean, you don't have family meals with your dad, or, you know, that you didn't grow up with those things. So
single night. There's thousands of
every single night. That's right. Well, not every night. I mean, I mean, this is 2023. Most families are, you know, they're eating in front of the TV a lot of times, you know, or they're, they have, you know, make sure that maybe once, twice a week they have a sit down meal.
the people who are collateral damage to Letitia James's games.
Yeah, this isn't about us. This is about the people we underpay.
She doesn't give it
to kiss our ass.
Damn. I mean, she doesn't even consider these people. I mean, isn't she responsible to take care of New Yorkers or represent the best interests of New Yorkers? These people.
Yeah, that's why she wants better people controlling these buildings that might have a better attitude towards staff, that might pay better, that might actually keep these buildings afloat so people could have job security.
People have incredible jobs because of us, because of...
Yeah, incredible maid jobs and doorman jobs because they get to see us. I mean, think about, Sean, think how lucky these people are that about once every 9 days or 3 weeks, I walk past them. You can't get that working at another building.
The Trump organization because of her family, and she wants to put those people in peril. Sean,
in peril? Yes, she does. She's releasing cougars into all the buildings.
These people are cruel. They are cruel, cruel people, and they will do anything for
and it's a cruel, cruel summer.
Their own political power. And my father will keep fighting it. I'll keep fighting it, and in the end, we will win because whatever's happening is just
what is happening?
Unthinkable, and
it is unthinkable. Now, granted, with a brain like Eric's, most things are unthinkable. The thinking doesn't work. I'm all thunk out.
Makes no sense.
You get one fair job.
It makes no sense. He's getting the same side. You could tell he's been around his dad a lot more than usual lately. Look at the side jaw. He's mirroring what his dad's been doing.
Judge, and this thing's going to be thrown out on his ear. This judge, it's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit. He's so bad. It's
so bad.
It's worse than a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, because it's not funny. You know, Trump's kind of miserable and
skit because you have to live it.
Yeah, because you have to live it. Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, can we get a camera on Eric Trump when they play and just play a run of SNL sketches that involve him as a character, and just watch? Because I think that in and of itself is a sketch worth watching. All right.
Eric Trump, thank you for being with us. Hey, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, because you had so many other places to be. You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide, by the way. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Now, I don't know, is Trump on this stupid thing right now? Where is he? All right, hold on.
That threat was, and so
we'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah.
What's
happening? That's why
hurting their lives. Or Cary Lake change is the next big thing.
Why will this thing?
When
right,
President Trump gets in the office,
I'm trying to, like,
and he says
move
this,
this
he'll
forward,
say it tonight.
And it won't let me.
Maybe we shouldn't have all this fried food. I don't know. Maybe we should.
These motherfuckers.
No.
Right.
I mean,
I'm just gonna reload it because that's not. It's so weird. 88,000 people are watching. Uh-oh. What? Hold on. What was that?
Has a single hand, because they'll call me fake
Oh, it's Don.
news.
Right.
I'll be canceled. I'll be thrown off social media. I'll be put in the gulags where the Democrats would put us all if they had a choice.
If they had a choice. They have built gulags just for people who look like Ellis from Die Hard. This is true. They will throw you in a gulag if you manage to grow a beard and make your chin look smaller. That's what the gulags are for.
Did anyone see a single hand go up that funding Ukraine is a top 10 issue for what? 10,000 people here?
No, not 10,000 people.
Not one.
Not 10,000.
I got one person one time, he raised his hand. One person. It wasn't a top 3 issue. It was a top 10 issue for him. And I said, sir, why is it top 10? Well, he goes, I'm from Ukraine. I was like, okay, I understand.
Yeah. You don't want your relatives raped and murdered and their bodies rigged with explosives so that if anybody comes over and tries to just move their remains and bury them properly, that they get killed as well and stuff. I don't know why you'd feel
so
that.
So now
but
we've surveyed about 30,000 people, and I have yet, and one guy.
You haven't surveyed anyone. You have rallied people around the idea that they're against it, and you are selectively pulling together an audience of anti-Ukraine fuckers in Trump world.
But it doesn't matter. He'll still do that. He's still going to try to roll the new Speaker of the House to believe it. They're going to put in front of him
I think he's bitching about Mitch McConnell, so we can just enjoy
intelligence reports, folks. And you know what those intelligence reports are? Also bullshit. Yes. It will be propaganda designed to get whatever the deep state wants.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know what the fuck he's blathering about at this point. What skin do they have in this fucking game against Ukraine? It's super weird. Like they're fucking pissed. And I mean, it could be the Russian money. It could be that. It could be. It seems like that. So, meanwhile, though, remember all that stuff about how Trump's beating Biden and the polls show that Democrats are going to lose and Republicans and especially Donald Trump are getting more popular by the second. And then, what does this say? An epic failure. Republicans take huge election losses. What wasn't there a whole thing about how the polls were pointing to the fact that the Democrats are in trouble and that their messaging is not resonating, I think it was, with voters? Well, let's see. Maybe there's more to this. I mean, epic failure can mean so many things.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the post-game show. After a big election night, coast to coast, we've got some results.
It's so bad, we're actually putting a desk in front of her short skirt. They still got the flowers, though, for the George O'Keefe. We know there's vagina there somewhere. Desk set up so that at least she doesn't have to sit trying to cross her legs in front of a lap height camera. Fucking hell, it bugs me.
Yeah, you were in Virginia yesterday interviewing Governor Youngkin.
And that didn't go well.
Things did not go as he had hoped.
No.
Right. Especially because if you're talking to Steve, it's not going well.
Indeed. And so
Indeed.
What we're going to do?
Look at Kilmeade. Look at Kilmeade. Just hold on a second. Wait. Back up. Look at his frumpy fucking face this whole segment. They're kind of like, well, it's just part of the post-game show. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot going on, and and that didn't go well and everything. And he's like, motherfucker.
Some results.
Yeah, you were in Virginia yesterday interviewing Governor Youngkin, and things did not go as he had hoped.
No, indeed. And so what we're going to do, sit back, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and we're going.
Look at fucking, God damn it. That's so fucking hilarious. Look how fucking miserable this dickhead is. Yeah, 62% of non-voters want Trump. Yeah, he's huge with the people who aren't going to vote. And the people who vote twice.
Explain it all. Let's start over at the big board and Lawrence Jones. Let's start in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Okay, good morning, family. It was a big upset for the governor there. Not only did he lose the House, but they were not.
Yeah, look, Kilmeade's blathering. What did Kilmeade say? Listen to the background.
There. Not only did he lose the House, but they were not able.
I can't make out what he's saying, but he's bitching on a hot mic.
Able to flip the senators. Let's look at the map right here.
Let's look at it.
Democrats have 51.
Democrats win majority. Now, I can't understand why Kilmeade isn't happy. Yeah.
To the Republicans, 47. And when you go over to the House, can we switch?
That is the House.
And then you got 21 Democrats.
That's the Senate. You were on the House. Yeah.
Democrats there in the Senate, and then 17 Republicans in the
Senate
there. The big upset was one thing particular when it comes to.
What was it? Could it possibly be abortion.
Republicans just weren't able to rally. Also, when
they weren't able to rally? Yeah, no. Hold on. Fuck that. They absolutely were able to rally. Democrats, the Republicans are in charge of right now the greatest Democratic voter get out the vote plan in decades.
You look at the issues such as crime and everything, they weren't able to run on that.
Yeah, they weren't able to run on that, were they? You know, because people were too busy wondering if women would have equal rights.
When you look at also, the Democrats outspent the Republicans there. And when it comes to early voting, the Democrats really pounded the pavement there.
Huh, it's weird. It's almost like wanting people to vote whenever they can so that their vote is counted is meaningful. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is spending every fucking possible second he can telling people to only vote on election day, and it probably won't count anyways.
Here I am like an idiot.
Jesus Christ.
Guys.
They did indeed, Lawrence.
Yeah, a lot at stake. In Virginia, that was really a loss for the governor. And he traveled all over that state to all the different
Maybe he shouldn't have.
districts. They spent a ton of money trying to.
Yep, and none of it worked. It might be, oh, shit, I didn't even realize there's like, how pervy is this? They still have like the open desk, but it's just like soft glass, so they can get the Fox and Friends pervs going. You squint, you can kind of
get the Republicans to win in both of those.
Both of those. You mean the Senate and the House? Both of those what?
Establishments, but the
establishments. Okay, sure. That's a sneeze card.
No abortion ban. I mean, I think that's what the voters said. What did he want, Brian? He wanted 18 weeks. Is that right?
15.
The governor?
16. I think 15 weeks.
Yeah, 16, 15. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Whatever. He was it's hard for Kilmeade to remember because he thinks most abortion bans are based on the age of people that Matt Gaetz likes to fly out of Florida.
He also said, flip the House, keep the Senate, but he lost both.
He said that?
What an epic failure by Governor Youngkin. This is a huge loss.
Huge.
For him, who everyone looked at, if not 24, which I thought was a long shot, definitely 28.
But that's a tough state to win in, though, because
because it's got all those women in it and Democratic men who actually give a shit about women. Hi, how are you?
Have equal amount of Republicans.
Oh, the clip audio is really loud. Sorry, hold on one second. Beg your pardon.
Republicans and Democrats. And when we went there, when Governor Youngkin was running, I remember people were really angry. They did not want him to win on the Democratic side. We were standing outside of a grocery store asking people as they came out, either they loved him or they were completely against him.
Well, Virginia, for the most part, has been
making him the perfect Republican.
Bluish state, and it just got a lot bluer. And the number one most motivating factor was the issue of abortion in the Commonwealth of Virginia because.
And that's not going to change between now and 2024.
Well, Glenn Youngkin was trying to come up with a moderate approach. Okay, let's say 15 weeks, and then it would be a ban. And
yeah, that's the moderate approach. 15 weeks and then a ban. Fuck them if it starts to kill the woman, if it's a stillborn, if the fetus is not viable at 18 or 20 weeks, she's got to carry the fucking thing to term and die on the fucking operating table. That's, a moderating. The fuck?
We should point out that wasn't on the agenda. That wasn't actually on the ballot. But, if you elect all these Republicans, I can get this done. It seemed like a moderate.
Then it was on the ballot, dum-dum. That's exactly what it is.
But unfortunately for him, the people very loudly said, you know what?
Fuck you.
Interested in that, Lawrence.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the ground game worked. Doesn't look like the early voting initiative that they said they were doing there worked.
That they said they were doing their work. Yeah, that's because Donald Trump has told them not to trust the vote and then only vote on one day. So if something comes up and you can't make it, it fucks your. There is a statistically significant number of people who, no matter what, if they only had one day to vote on across the political spectrum. If it was like single day, that's it. There's a statistically significant number of people who will have something happen. And depending on the size of the state, it could sway one direction or another. If there was like a coal mine disaster or like the chemical plant that blew up in Texas or some shit like that around election day, there would be if people worked there were Republicans and the county was kind of leaning purple or whatever, it could throw the whole fucking district blue simply because those people were busy fucking cleaning up some sort of natural disaster or something fucked up happened, or a tornado rips through some place, or military people are sent off to battle and don't bother to send in their ballots because they're actually in a war zone and shit like that. That could statistically, shift an election. That's why one day is fucking dumb as a single point. And the more the Republicans push this, the more they limit their own voters. And by the way, Trump and his ilk are convinced this is the way to go. Only vote on election day. Don't vote before. They're going to steal your vote anyways. And then, as you get closer to it, how are you going to convince these motherfuckers that their vote on the day will count?
And it was a big upset there. Let's go to Ohio.
Right. That's how this shit happens.
Ohio, because that was also a big thing right there. When you look at
it was a big thing right
there. The Republican, this is what was posted on there, provided the state the Constitution right to make and carry out one's productive decision. Let's take a look at what it said.
What?
So 56%, 0.3% said yes.
Right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions, including abortions. 56% said yes.
43.7% said no.
It said no. Women should not have the right to make and carry out their own reproductive decisions, including abortion. By the way, also including contraception, you fucking tools.
So that was a big one as well. It looks like abortion was the big
Well, no. In this particular case, I would like to say that just because it includes abortion, don't forget the fact that this is like condoms, the pill, IUDs, Jesus Christ, the rhythm method. I don't know what the fuck. You're going to... What's the alternative here? Legislating, it is sinful to spill your seed on the sand?
Issue for the folks out there. Also,
the folks.
When you look at the Midwest, Republicans just aren't doing a good job of getting people to turn out. And it looks like...
Gee, it's almost like the leader of your party is telling people not to trust fucking elections.
They focus on this economic message, but the voters...
But yeah, the voters are like spending a lot of money and going to football games and buying Taylor Swift tickets and re-upping their fucking Netflix subscriptions, and they're not listening to you.
Just aren't buying it, guys.
No sense.
Right. You know what they are buying? A lot of stuff. They're still buying a lot of stuff.
No Senate seat up, no governor's seat up. This big issue was up, and here we are 2 years after the Dobbs decision, and the Republicans have no idea how to message it. And
you can't message it. You cannot message it, especially to the Republican Party, because you are, in theory, the Republicans are the party of personal freedom and personal responsibility and personal whatever, and anti-big government. And then at the same time, these motherfuckers want to set a government policy that tells a woman and her doctor what to do with her body at a series of spots along the line, which involves the possibility of her being raped by a relative, carrying a non-viable fetus to term that may destroy her ability to have children in the fucking future. And these motherfuckers, these small government conservatives, want to set a goddamn policy so that they can step between you and your doctor in that decision. You can't message it because it is antithetical to the entire message that Republicans have been selling as a raison d'etre for fucking ever.
2 years after the Dobbs decision, they're still getting outraised by Democrats in every...
Yes, obviously in a country where there is no money and everyone's going to hell, and we're in hell tubes of hell and hell tubes and whatever the fuck, and yet people still have money left over to go, fuck this. I will help you raise money. Here's my $5. Here's my $10. Here's my $25, because I'm not going to let women's rights be a matter of like a juggling policy for the Republican Party.
Every major election and every major issue.
How do Republicans figure this out? Because
they're not going to. They can't. Because here's how figuring it out works. You've lost. That ship sailed with Roe v. Wade. You picked the fucking scab, and now it's bleeding. It ain't going to heal if you keep picking it. That's where this is. There is no there. There's no way out of this. You're not going to convince the majority of women in the United States or even the majority of men in the United States that the federal government or the state governments should limit someone's ability to have a therapeutic abortion to save their own fucking life or make their own reproductive decisions within a reasonable window. So it's just, you're not going to do it. And you're not going to stop. So that's why you're fucked.
We heard Nikki Haley on the stage. She said, I'm not for abortion. My husband was
What does that mean?
adopted. I had a tough time getting pregnant. However, the chances of us changing this are null and void. It's not going to happen. Let's be realistic about it. And then she said, and let's don't vilify women if they've made that decision or die.
Yeah. And you know what that makes her? A single-digit performer in the Republican field.
Doctors who have made that decision or don't want to perform them.
Sure. What are you talking about? This is the network where fucking Bill O'Reilly said Tiller the baby killer on the air.
Ultimately, it comes down to the question of abortion. And
he might have said that on his radio show also, or at the same time, or primarily. Anyways, he worked at Fox when he said it.
Americans, as we have seen, once again, the predominant issue across the board was abortion. People don't want restrictions on it. And even though Glenn Youngkin in the Commonwealth of Virginia tried to come up with a common sense approach, a moderate approach,
a moderate approach, which is 15 weeks. And if you haven't made that decision, whether the fucking thing's going to kill you or not, or whether it's viable, or whether its fucking lungs are outside its body and it's sealed to your uterus and the process of pushing it will tear your insides out, fuck it. That's what God wants. Gee, I can't imagine why women don't support that idea and the men that love them don't either. It's strange. It's hard to wrap your head around it.
It did not work. And in Ohio, they were simply trying to approve a measure to build in protections, and people didn't want that. And that
build in protections, motherfucker. People want not only the ability to have an abortion if necessary, but also contraception. These motherfuckers are going after contraception. Anybody who talks about this, who's one of the point people on the Republican side about abortion, contraception's next. Period. That's what this is. It's as much about that as it is abortion. Abortion's the kind of lead point on it because it's the worst case scenario. It's the emergency moment. But along with the morning after pill and RU486 and those kind of things, they're after that shit too because they believe in the conception model. So if you do the morning after pill, they consider that equally sinful to a fucking 9th term plus 1 day abortion or whatever. So they want to get rid of that too. And that's a huge part of this.
That number you just showed, Lawrence, is about the same margin that recreational weed passed in Ohio.
Yeah, so Ainsley, also when you look at the CNN polling, it says 68% said that the abortion issue was extremely or very important, and only 32% said that it was moderate or not important.
That's putting moderately important in there with not important is a fucking dodge because here's the thing. If you put extremely, very, or moderately, meaning it affected their vote choice as far as 2024, that's 80% minimum. I mean, I don't even know what the not very part of this is. This is a CNN poll. You're going to slap moderately and not very together? Moderately is enough to switch your fucking vote in a bunch of areas. 68 to extremely or very, 68%, that's fucking gigantic.
Nearly 7 in 10 Republicans have to figure out what their messaging is.
There's no message. It's not the message. It's the policy. The policy is wrong. It's not based on this moderating idea that Steve Ducey is pushing. It's based on women got us in this problem in the first place because they ate the goddamn apple and they made us try it. That's what this is about.
Brian was saying, in order to go forward in the next election. We looked at this midterm election as a way to gauge how Republicans or how Democrats react going
And what did you learn?
Forward for 2024. So Republicans need to look at all of these numbers and really
and change their policy.
Think about what's more important. Right. Yes, most people that are Republicans are probably pro-life.
Right.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're pro-fetus, but as soon as that baby is fucking born, it's on its own. No Head Start, no school lunch, no public schools. They're trying to undermine. They want to get rid of the Department of Education because they want their kids to have a jump start on it if they can afford, schools based on property taxes. They know that their school will be better than the one next door, so their kid will have a leg up on the other kids just because they get shitty facilities and all that kind of stuff. That's why they want to get rid of it. I don't give a fuck about life. Life is something life's a long fucking time, if you're lucky. Life is all of the shit that happens while you're alive. They don't give a fuck about any of that stuff.
And
half of them just want these kids to be born, the poor kids to be born, so that they can have cannon fodder.
We love our babies, and I love being a mother.
Why did God put nipples on men? For aesthetic purposes. To make us, recognize that we're more equal than not.
But what?
And also they, I'm not one of them, but some people they're very sensitive and they're useful in the sex act. They maintain a lot of nerve endings and stuff, and there's a lot of homogeny. He also put nipples on male cats or whatever too. So I don't know what to tell you. It confuses everyone.
That's most important. Republicans taking over and Republicans being able to keep our country.
Well, the other,
or recognizing that it ain't your country, it's all Americans' country, and you are out of step with the vast majority of your fellow citizens.
The thing that's important is they didn't message crime. They didn't message the border. What
are you fucking talking about? That's all they talk about, asshole. As a matter of fact, they talk about the border and crime so much so that they can sneak this abortion shit in under the wire. They're trying to scare you about the border and scare you about crime. So you're like, fuck, I gotta vote for these motherfuckers. And then what they're trying to sneak by is abortion and contraception bans. Get the fuck out of here. They didn't message crime. Are you shitting me? What the fuck? Like every clip we talk about, holy hell.
Have not touched the inner city, so whatever.
They haven't touched the inner city in Virginia.
People are, however.
In Ohio. Yes, the inner city world of Toledo.
However the mayors are failing, however the issues are falling short, whether it's the bail reform or whether it's the lack of police.
Jesus Christ. It couldn't be possibly like dead talking points that don't factor in anymore.
Police officers on the street, nothing was emphasized or mattered.
That's all they fucking talk about.
As much as that, or people are just staying home. Yeah. The Republicans have a lot to work with. They're just not.
Yes. They're just not interested in working with it because part of what they have to work with is women having the right to bodily autonomy and making decent decisions. And this idea that is pervasive in the Republican Party, and this is what Nikki Haley was apparently pushing back on, is that given the opportunity, women will abort babies in the 9th month because they're hysterical psychopaths who just go, I want it out of me, kill it. Like, that's how they think women operate. And the reality is that most women who have a therapeutic abortion or have an abortion after, 20 weeks or so, have it because they've already picked out fucking curtains. They've already started changing the babies, in one of the rooms in the house to the baby's room. They bought a crib. They're looking through baby name books and shit like that. And then they're told by their doctor the baby's not going to make it, and that they might not make it. And they have to make a horrible decision. It's fucking heartbreaking. And yet Republicans believe that this is just women going, fuck it. I don't know.
Not working with it.
Well, but ultimately it comes down to the Democrats have a really potent issue, and that is abortion, because, ever since Roe v.
Because 68% of voters in that CNN poll say it's very important or extremely important. And even on the other side, moderately important, which is enough to shift your vote.
Wade was overturned. Pretty much every time the Democrats have run on abortion, they have won. And here's the bad, and was last night a harbinger for 2024, as you were alluding to, Ainsley?
Yes.
Absolutely. You know why? Because there are opponents and proponents trying to put abortion rights on the ballots in the states of Florida, Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. So it's going to be, if
yes, 3 swing states and Florida-ish. And I got news for you. Even Florida will drift this way. There aren't enough Catholic Cubans down there to throw a monkey wrench in this system. Sorry.
You're a Republican running in those states, you're going to have a tough 2024.
So one of the states...
Don't threaten me with a good time.
That Republicans would push back on is the state of Mississippi. They ran on abortion. That was the one issue. And Governor Tate Reeves was able to get 51.8% of the vote. Why is this important? 40% of the black individuals that live in that state is 40% of the state. This is the largest state for black voters there. And they really thought they were going to get black voters to show up for the Democratic Party. Yeah. As you know, Mississippi has a water issue, a crime issue, an economic issue.
Yes, it's a shit state.
And black voters did not show up.
And that's the hospital issue, too. A lot of the hospitals had to shut down in the rural areas.
They didn't show
That's
up
Elvis Presley's cousin. I thought maybe that would help him. Maybe it did a little bit.
He's all shook up.
Yeah.
Where Mississippi's getting better is education.
Yeah.
Imagine this. A Republican won the Mississippi governor's race with 51%. Imagine that being your good news. 51%. That's far from being a mandate, and that's with 95%. Yeah, slightly greater than 95% of the vote counted at that point. Mississippi governor's race, the Republican won with 51.9%, almost 52%. In Mississippi, are you fucking kidding me?
They're starting to turn it around on education, and maybe that has something to do with it. Extremely Republican state, so that was supposed to be close.
Yeah, it's an extremely Republican state. It's supposed to be close. It is close, dumb fuck.
Closer than it actually was.
But that is a state where abortion was not an issue because they were both anti-abortion.
That's exactly right.
Wherever abortion was on the agenda.
And again, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, they're going to be, Ron Johnson and his ilk are trying to put something forward in Wisconsin.
The Democrats won, except in Mississippi.
And the reason was, and they'll appreciate this in Mississippi, we know being from the South, the reason he was pro-life, Presley, as a Democrat, was because of he loves the Lord, and he felt like
that's right, he does love the Lord.
The
Lord, he said the Lord.
That was important to him.
So they fucking flipped a coin.
With Donald Trump, and you talk about messaging, Trump said, and he got a lot of ridicule for it, we're going to work something out on a compromise because this is not a good issue for us. And Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley.
Yeah, that's because Donald Trump has paid for multiple abortions in his life and doesn't actually give a fuck.
And everyone jumped all over him. And Tim Scott.
What do you think about the ballot Democrat shortage in Mississippi election yesterday? They're always going to try to push this down, but quite frankly, I'm not worried about that. That ship has sailed. Even if people think there was somebody monkeying around in the election, still Tate Reeves only wins with a 30,000 vote difference in an off-year state election.
And in the end, Donald Trump's instincts on the issue, regardless of his personal feelings, are 100% right. He goes, this is not a good political issue for us.
Yeah, he has said that they've got some terrible state-level restrictions, and he's also said that state politicians have spoken inarticulately about abortion. But ultimately, I think this particular issue, I think, is what might put a smile on Joe Biden's face. After the terrible polls he's had in the last week, I think he thinks, and his people around him are saying, if abortion is going to be a big thing,
it will be.
You would be able to.
And it's not even because Democrats make it one, but because Republicans insist
to win on that alone. And Brian, to your point about Donald Trump,
they ran out of ballots. Shocking.
Oh, he has been vague on specifics regarding abortion. But what Democrats will do next year is they will say, well, Donald Trump doesn't have a specific abortion policy, but he's the guy who put 3 justices on the Supreme Court.
Thanks, Steve. Well articulated.
Who overturned Roe v. Wade.
He says he's going to work out a compromise.
So to you guys,
he says he's going to work out a compromise on day one.
That's the point about
He's also going to deploy the military on the streets of the United States. Get the
Donald
fuck out
Trump.
of here.
I think it's important to know as we move to Kentucky, Donald Trump got 62% of the vote in the last election against Joe Biden, and Andy Beshear held on to the state. People say that he's a moderate, he's trustworthy, they like him, but as you know, Daniel Cameron was a rising star in the Republican Party. They expected him to win this. When I was talking to folks on the ground there, they said it was highly unlikely because people like the governor there. But the one thing you saw in this election is the black voters came out, but also the activists came out, and they really went after Daniel Cameron with the Breonna Taylor thing.
Yeah.
So they went door to door, and they just did not show up for the guy.
And he's the AG. They didn't like some of the laws that were in place under him. But Beshear, you and I were talking about this yesterday. His father was governor, is that right?
Yeah, and Republican.
He's beloved. His father was a Republican, but he's so moderate. The Republicans also like him there.
I like to add one more thing. Ronna McDaniel told me on Monday that
Jesus Christ. Kilmeade is so trying to just sit there and turd polish.
Cameron was getting killed on certain abortion ads, and he never responded. They thought we're just going to run out the clock. We like where we were on the polls, and that was it. Again, back to it. And it seems in every major race, Republicans were outraged.
Isn't that what they criticized like Hillary Clinton for doing with like Wisconsin and the like? You'd think lessons learned.
2 and sometimes 3 to 1. So they got a year to change that.
And also in the common
They're not going to change anything. The policy is just going to get more stark.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, Beshear won after hammering Cameron for supporting the state's near total ban on abortion.
Right, which is not going to change. There is no way Cameron or anybody around him walks that shit back. And by the way, for the record, Mitch McConnell doesn't support it. He supports some sort of like moderating view of it, which they call him a rhino and fucking hate his guts. And Jesus Christ, if anybody believes in elective abortion after birth, it's fucking Rand Paul and his libertarian Ayn Randian stuff. If you want, according to Ayn Rand, if you want to yank the kid out of you and bash his head on a rock, that's up to you. That's freedom.
Abortion across the board.
Overall, it looks like the Republicans were outspent. They were outworked. And it seems...
Excuse me. The Democrats were able to fundraise and out-fundraise Republicans. They were outspent because they had more money. They got more money because these meaningful issues were worth people's time, attention, and money.
It's like there's still no real strategy as it relates to early voting. It looks like the Democrats have...
No, they have a strategy. You know what the Republican strategy for early voting is the same as Joe Biden's message to I guess the Hezbollah. Don't
have an operation to get it done. And I know some Republicans have said they want to turn that around, but it looks like the anti-early voting message for states that allow it is just not helping their turnout.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. It is weird. It's weird. I never really. It's super weird. You'd think. That's weird. You know what? It's easy though. All you do is get Trump and all of his other people to say vote early, and try to not get them say vote early and vote often by accident, which Trump will do. As a matter of fact, if anybody says vote early and vote often to Trump within a day or so of him giving a rally, he'll say it on stage.
Beshear would not say anything about Joe Biden. They tried to pin Biden to Beshear. He ran from the president, didn't bring it up, so have nothing to do with the president or his policies.
We need to talk to Ronna
Yeah, he's running for a state office.
Daniel and find out what the plan
because a lot of times it'll look like you don't want to look like a puppet anyway.
And as for Republicans.
Republicans who run on like, I love Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, I'm basically just Donald Trump. He can stick his fucking finger up my ass and tell me what to do. That doesn't work out well for anybody.
When it comes to the abortion issue, how do you handle that?
He finds a lot of them uncoachable.
She does?
She finds a lot of the candidates have been uncoachable, yeah.
Jeez, they're not going to... Really? Republicans aren't open to being coached by Ronna McDaniels? No? Huh. She finds them uncoachable. I love the fucking idea that, like, Brian Kilmeade is fucking have these, like, 15-year-old gab fests sitting on the end of the bed holding a phone like, what are you talking about? I don't know. What are you talking about? What are you doing? I don't know. You hang up first. I don't know. These people are uncoachable. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's an issue for Republicans. And then Democrats, we've seen they're facing in 2024 with everything happening in Israel, that party's divided. So division.
No, not really.
It's on both sides.
I think the
No, not division on both sides. Nope.
big story is going to be, we heard about the red wave
that didn't happen
last time.
Right.
Now we heard about the big wins that were going to be made in Virginia, that Daniel Cameron was going to win Kentucky. That was wrong. It looks like Republicans are fucked. The Republicans need a full autopsy of where this polling. It looks like there's some interest in the Republican Party, but when it comes to
There's some interest in the Republican Party. Yes, there is interest in making sure the Republican Party isn't in charge of anything.
getting the folks to the polls, they're failing on this.
See what had changes when we go 2024 with the president on the ballot.
Yeah.
Right, because the message will be a lot clearer then.
And if you.
By the way, Trump is going to have to come out with a moderating voice on this, and they're either going to have to, like, pro-life voters are going to have two choices when it comes to Donald Trump. Either go, he's really lying because he really is going to ban it totally, but he's got to say this to get elected, or fuck this guy. That's the only options they're going to have, and it's going to be a split. Half of pro-life voters are going to go, oh my God, you can't moderate this. What the fuck are you talking about? And the other half are going to go, he's a liar for us. He's a liar for Jesus.
Or if abortion is on the agenda, on the ballot.
It will be.
But in your state.
It will be.
The Democrat.
It's, by the way, it's not only going to be on the agenda in the states. It's going to be, watch for that interview with Chris Matthews that Trump did where there has to be a punishment for the woman who gets abortion. That's the ad. Democrats, throw that shit up there. Does that mean there should be a punishment for women? There has to be. That's what Donald Trump said. And everybody, back in 2016, and nobody fucking listened, and he set up that exact fucking thing. And we've got a rise in infant mortality around, the deaths of infants at birth because of the number of unviable fetuses that are being forced to be carried to term by these assholes.
That's as of last night, and in the past special elections, Democrats win.
Yep, and that's how it's going to continue to go because these motherfuckers cannot moderate this message without getting eaten alive. The fact that, look, Youngkin's loss of seats in the Senate and the House in Virginia had every bit as much to do with him trying to sound more moderate than he actually is, and a bunch of, like, super pro-life right-wing voters who are, like, in the Marjorie Taylor Greene mentality zone of voting, not voting for him or not voting for those people because of that very thing. What am I going to do? Give him more Republicans so that he can moderate it? But fuck this guy. They didn't even bother because it's all or nothing. This is the same impact that TYT had around the Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump race is happening on the Republican side. Now everybody's just realizing, stop fucking listening to TYT about voting. You can laugh all you want if they're bitching about some awful people and they're hitting stuff that's really obvious, but anytime they're trying to, like, criticize Democrats, get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. They're not criticizing on policy. They're yelling warmonger and of course and all that shit, trying to stop people from voting. It's an anti-voting machine over there at TYT. And that's, by the way, really ultimately minor, which is one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders' campaign had a glass ceiling on it nationwide, is because it only has a limited reach. Republicans are doing this on a national fucking level. Kilmeade is doing this kind of shit and bringing on Donald Trump, and they're interviewing him, and Hannity's having on Trump and having on Youngkin and supporting all these measures on national fucking television, the big stuff, on the big channels, the legacy and mainstream media levels of the right-wing, media sphere are pushing this shit. If we don't get everything, nobody gets anything. They're pushing that on this level, and this is what's happening.
So far, 7 states are off the board.
Yep. Lawrence,
right.
Yep. So far, 7 states are off the board. Wait till Trump gets kicked to the fucking curb on states where he's not going to be allowed to be on the ballot and automatically destroys any potential for him in terms of the Electoral College. Bye-bye. Now, obviously, the problems in the Republicans having a shit message about a shit policy is obviously not the only thing that's going on. Obviously, there's a lot of legal stuff going on. Even on the Democratic side, something's not adding up in the Hunter case. Rep. Jason Smith. Well, I mean, it's been 3.5, 4 fucking years. What you have all the entire contents of the laptop. You have access to it. It's on a searchable database. Knock yourself the fuck out, buddy. What's not adding up besides the math and everything? Here we go.
Well, look who's here, the chairman of House Ways and Means,
Oh,
Congressman Jason Smith. Congressman Smith,
it's Queen Little Turd. Honest to God, is there's something poopy? Is it? Did you bring a turd or what is that? That is not. That smells like poop. There's a poop. I can't be the only one smelling that. Is there?
always a pleasure having you on. Okay, is this true? We're hearing Oversight Chair James Comer say
talk out of his ass. Fox Business alert.
Saying the House impeachment inquiry is getting ready to fire off around 24 subpoenas.
Very exciting.
For family and business associates in the Biden family business enterprise. That's what.
Which, since Jim Jordan hasn't honored his subpoena, there is no reason why any of these people should do it.
Chair Comer told Maria Bartiromo, is that true?
There's definitely numerous individuals that we are issuing subpoenas in regards to. There's a lot of people that need to.
Yeah, in regards to them.
Come before Congress, both.
That is so true. Boy, this guy's voice and his face don't match up at all, do they? I gotta say, like, this dude sounds exactly like what it says on the tin.
To the Judiciary Committee, the Ways and Means Committee, and the Oversight Committee to answer a lot of the questions that we have before them.
Uh-huh. What questions would that be? Where did you crime? Can you tell us where the crimes are? We can't find the fucking crimes. We don't have any crimes. God damn it. We've got all these bank records and stuff, and we can't find any crimes. Where are the crimes? Tell us where the crimes are. Where are they?
Fortunately, there are some that we have subpoenaed. In fact, the Judiciary Committee subpoenaed 2 DOJ tax professionals that.
Ooh, hold on. Not DOJ tax professionals. Oh, this is fucking getting exciting.
That in fact, higher ups in the Department of Justice refused to allow them to come just over a week.
Because they're in the middle of an investigation. And
could go to come and answer questions before
that's terrible.
Congress.
Are you suggesting that the president has tax implications here?
Well, let's just think about this. We have seen now 2 different checks to the president himself, a $200,000 check and a $40,000 check. Saying that they were for debt repayment.
Loan repayment, but sure.
According to the public tax returns that Joe Biden had released when he was running for office, there is no indication that he has any interest income from any loans.
Yeah, because the loans didn't last more than 9 years. Because he's a Catholic and he's an old school Catholic and doesn't believe in usury when in interpersonal family loans. You don't actually have to charge people interest. You can make a religious exemption if you want to. But if you guys want to remove that, hey, look, if we're moving towards Republicans removing religious exemptions on interest payments, knock yourself out. I'm for it.
So apparently he's not reporting in his taxes, or he did not provide that information to the public.
Or it doesn't exist.
So there's something not adding up, right?
This is the Abbey Road shot of this is Biden landing at Abbey Roads.
And guess what? The Ways and Means Committee is the tax committee, and that is our jurisdiction in the impeachment inquiry.
That's the
Yeah, it's so exciting. It is exciting, man. And you don't sound like a guy who does taxes.
Never seen principle that when it came up in Whitewater with when Madison Guarantee, paid off the loans for Bill and Hillary Clinton. This story too.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. These aren't checks from family members. And by the way, Whitewater went fucking nowhere.
Hunter Biden.
This is not going to lead to a blowjob. I'm just saying. This is definitely not leading to a blowjob. There isn't a blowjob here. Yeah, we've seen what medications Joe is on, and Viagra ain't one of them.
His former business partner, Tony Bobulinski, invited the Biden family to join him under oath to testify to Congress. What do you make of this? Tony Bobulinski is saying, yeah, join with me. I'll talk about your influence peddling operation.
Yeah, the thing that you said during 2017 and 2018 when Biden was no longer in office and Bobulinski was basically jettisoned by his business partners for being ineffective, foolhardy, and full of shit, and was selling the influence that never paid off, that no one got, and Bobulinski was causing trouble for Rosemont Seneca and the group their investment group because he was selling this idea that you could get access to Biden, and you didn't.
This is after Hunter Biden's lawyer sent a letter demanding the DOJ investigate Bobulinski, claiming he lied to the FBI. What do you think?
I'm going to go with he lied to the FBI.
Well, I'll just tell you, you just look at the track record. Hunter Biden's lawyers have sent to us letters. They
sent letters. Just letters. Like, dear weirdly pinchy nasally guy with comb over and sunburned top of head. We saw that you're writing up a list of subpoenas, and we just want 3 letters, GFY.
Sent the IRS letters. You've seen that in numerous examples. I'll tell you what's really concerning.
Yeah, they haven't just sent them letters. They sent them like cease and desist letters, legal documents.
Concerning, though, is that you look at just the affiliations that Hunter Biden has had with individuals, including
Tony Bobulinski,
Kevin Morris, a donor of the president's who paid more than $2 million of Hunter Biden's taxes. And
right. So I would like to say that, for the record, however they got paid, unlike Trump's.
Now they're saying that was a loan. The Biden family's really good at all these different loans, whether it's paying back taxes of Hunter Biden's or whether it's something that Joe Biden is giving a loan for.
Okay, and they made at least $24 million, money sluicing around between LLCs, off-balance sheet shells, between 9 Biden family members, including a granddaughter. The president,
who apparently got her college paid for by her uncle,
repeatedly denying any knowledge of any of this. We've got this news coming in, Congressman. Emails surfacing from a Freedom of Information Act
oh, for fuck's sake.
Lawsuit brought by America First Legal Foundation shows that then Vice President Joe Biden's office was helping Hunter Biden coordinate.
Then VP's office emails Hunter's team to help with biz trip to China. Quick intro. I'm Don Cloud, and I work in the Office of the Vice President, National Security Affairs. Ms. Jamie Lyons provided me your email and thought you may be able to assist. The reason I'm emailing you is that I received a call from the embassy of Beijing this morning, and as I understand, they specifically, Ambassador Max Baucus has heard that Hunter Biden is in China. He would like to connect with Hunter to offer any support that he made during his travels. His support during his travels. He's not. No, they're not offering business support.
Coordinate his business trips to China.
He was already there. They specifically, Ambassador has heard that Hunter Biden is in China. How did he hear this?
Vice President's aide Donald Cloud emailed Hunter Biden's assistant saying, "Yeah, get in touch with."
Here's an idea. I'm gonna. This seems like they're trying to be nice about it, but if I'm thinking the right time around 2014, there might be a little bit of chaperoning going on. As nice as they want to put it, we would like to help you with your travels so that you don't end up snorting some fentanyl in a fucking factory in Xinjiang. I'm going to guess they wanted to keep him on a leash.
We'll help you get in touch with the U.S. Embassy.
Roseanne's at a Trump rally? Oh, God. Hold on. We'll switch over. Boo.
A top 10 issue for you.
Hold on. I'll reload this.
What we're going to see on the way out, and the reason why, Christina, is America is...
It's interesting to me that the...
Getting that and walking away...
Again,
that's the Don Jr.
We're going to see on the way out, and the reason why, Christina, is America is broken, and they want someone to fix the policies.
They want hope.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, they want hope. Yeah, definitely hope.
Talking biblical terms, we know that God's in control. I'm talking.
Yeah, God's in control, which is why Donald Trump is not president.
About our government,
right?
Our policies.
There's a lot
they
of
need someone that is going to fix that. And they
hold on a fucking second. Look, I don't know what it is. I don't want to call bullshit on this 10,000 number, but Jesus Christ. I mean, you got to have fire aisles, but that ain't what this is. That shit.
Know that President Trump, based upon past experiences and how real he is to the American people. I mean, we often said, show me another political elected figure that can do this and have this.
What? Get one term and be voted out? I don't know, George H.W. Bush?
Much support. I have not seen it in my lifetime.
No, this is really, really incredible. And
it is incredible. I mean, look at how much grass you can see.
Happens time and time again.
Yes, that he gets about as many people showing up as a high school football game.
Every single location.
What, Roseanne is talking at this Trump? I don't know. I think they might be a little behind. This is live, so. Is she in? All right, I guess they. What the fuck?
Going to be a country and there's not going to be a world. I have no intention.
There's not going to be a country and there's not going to be a world.
There's going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
Yeah. Running for president, and if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
Together, we will determine the course of America.
Together, we will.
Outside, it's packed.
We will use
cash, green. I mean, green cash.
Yeah, and I think
people saw that loud and clear.
There's no question that he, as a fighter,
I had to beat off. Illegal. Yeah, look.
Yes, there's so much to this where
Don't touch my hands because they're dirty.
That Donald Trump knows this country better than any.
You have the ocean and you have the sun. There's something about that works.
That's right.
We have to slab it.
They certainly do. There's just no question.
Who wants people coming in from foreign countries?
We gotta stop this.
And the world for many, many years to come. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. That all changes.
Michigan gave us Motang.
Starting right here and right now.
I don't read, obviously.
Because this moment is your moment. The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. Belongs to you. Free health care for illegal. Look. We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges. Forgotten men and women of our country.
I was a private business people.
Will be forgotten no longer. Here I am like an idiot.
Leading in 5 of the 6 most important battleground states.
They said, oh.
Biden continues to trail Donald Trump. Our latest poll.
When they gaze upon Yosemite.
Polling out of Iowa also shows former President Trump.
Here I am like an idiot.
With a 30-point lead over his nearest rival.
The Republican primary is over. Donald Trump basically has this nomination locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit!
That was the game he was booed at.
Everyone is listening to you now.
That's right. Everyone.
De-engineering.
Everyone can hear what you're saying.
When they gaze upon Yosemite, they don't like the gas. Christopher Columbus, huh? I will fight for you. I've been involved in the 2 greatest scams in American history. With every breath in my body.
How do you fight with breath? Oh, I guess because his breath stinks. I guess that's what he's trying to do. He's going to fight with every breath he has in his body. So he's just going to fucking breathe all over people? That might be his most effective weapon.
And I will never, ever let you down.
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
My fellow Americans. Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes. What? Our movement is far from over.
You could say it's a back door, but I call it a smart door.
In fact, our fight has only just begun. They don't like the gas.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, what's up, people?
Welcome to Hialeah, Florida.
Thanks. I always wanted to visit. It's been high up on my bucket list for a long time.
For President Donald J. Trump's.
I think he's just doing this to counter-program the fucking debate.
Make America Great Again rally.
That's my guess.
Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the former White House press secretary and current governor of Arkansas.
Here I am like an idiot.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Nice. Is she bringing her own? She's bringing her own podium. Where the fuck is Roseanne? Did she talk earlier? Did we just miss it? The shit. Oh, there she is. That's why.
That I received when I.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back to
You know, his line was filled.
We see in just 3 years, and they already.
It's exciting. I gotta get you to do it with me. USA, USA, USA.
You know, if you put USA together, it spells like it sounds like USA. If you think about it, I'm probably the first person to think that.
Say USA, thank you.
It's the Cubans they had from Florida that were there, like USA. What? Why are you calling me essay?
USA, God bless America. I love you all
You're not gonna sing the national anthem and then grab your crotch and spit.
so much. I got
How much do you love us? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong setup.
to get my picture taken with President Trump about a week ago. There.
That's great, and it's already stale. You can already get another one. Did he do the mugshot face? All you got to do is ask. Just ask him to give you mugshot face.
At Mar-a-Lago, you know, and it was so exciting.
Yeah, you know, just being at Mar-a-Lago has got to be amazing, especially the briny smell and the omelet bar. I've seen it; it's great. They have two squeeze bottles of ketchup, so you know, got that going for them.
I could hardly control myself.
By the way, the Hialeah for Trump dude who's resting his arms on his belly, standing in front of the guy in the never surrender picture of Donald Trump when he surrendered.
Went in there and I grabbed at him, you know.
Oh, like Marjorie Taylor Greene?
And
did you grab him by the pussy? Or the fupa?
he was so nice. He just kind of gently rearranged my arms so nicely. And afterwards,
what?
I thought, oh my God, I could have got shot. The way I was grabbing at him with the Secret Service, I was just like, oh, I love you.
Why do you think he has a standing order for anybody who grabs at him who's not fuckable according to his standards?
But, you know, I could hardly control myself.
Yeah, we know that in general.
I just flipped out. But,
yeah, like when you went to the hat store.
Then several nights later, I saw him again, and I was able to actually touch him and hug him, and
awkward.
It meant so much to me, and that was the night that Shabbat had ended. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm a Jew.
Shomer Shabbos. Yay! Whatever.
Wow, that's the first time I've been cheered for that. Thank you.
It is very weird. You're right.
So it was Shabbat night, and I had just, said all my prayers all day, meditating and praying as I invite you to do for our country and for all the captives that, in our country whose minds are stolen by this.
Hold on. I thought she was going to Hamas. I really did. I thought she was all the captives that Hamas has taken in Israel, and she's talking about mental captives. Oh boy.
Terrible regime, and they can't get free of it, and we got
you can't shake
to
that
pray
shit.
for them. But
pray for them to die. But okay.
When I touched him, my hands were full of all the love that you people have given me over.
Really? I hope you washed
For
them.
the last 4 years, you saved my life. You built me back up when they tried to take me down. You gave me so much love. I thank you for that. You saved me.
By allowing me to have a right-wing podcast. It was...
And I put all of the love you've given me onto President Trump.
Uh-huh.
Gave him 99% of it, and I just said, "Oh, we love you
So you kept 1% for yourself? What is it? Is that a finder's fee? Or?
so much. You are our inspiration. You are our hero. We love you." I said, "I want you to know how much we pray for you and how much we love you and how much we look."
Right. And as soon as you said that, he looked at you like you were a fucking lunatic and was like, this is a person I can manipulate because I believe that the people who are religious are stupid and dough-headed, and I can pick their pocket.
To you and how much we hope for you. I want you to know how.
Oh, I hope for him as well, but I hope that his cell is it feels smaller than it is. I think that's it.
All the people I meet every day feel that about you
because you haven't met me in a long time, and you don't talk to anybody who's not already on the team, and you and your son carefully farm the people you interact with.
It's true.
Gibberish.
And, I ran for president down here. I was on the ballot in Florida in 2012. I don't know. I didn't win. I don't know if you knew that.
She was running on a anti-Mayan calendar ticket.
But I did run for president against Barack Obama. I didn't like him, and so I decided.
The Hialeah for Trump dudes, Hi Betty, is showing.
Oh, yeah. Boo it up, baby. Oh, yeah. And this is his third term that we're living through. You know that, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's don't forget Pizzagate.
So I ran in 2012 because I wanted to run against him, and I ran because I said, this is the time for a woman to win. Me, not Hillary. But I said, because this is the time for a woman, because anything a man can do, a woman can get another man to do even better.
What? Now, I know she thinks that's a good line. And she's been carrying that one around for a while. But and I don't know if it qualifies as a joke. I think she means it as a zinger, which a zinger is not necessarily a joke. It can be funny because of people's reaction to it, but it's meant to be like a mic drop. And that is just fucking dumb. That's her version of feminism, I suppose, is that, women's greatest skill is making men do what they want or something, which I got to say, if I was an incel in Trump's crowd right now, I'd be like, what the fuck did she just say? What? That's what I've been saying on my BitChute podcast about what women do to us. What the hell? Yeah. Anyways, by the way, chat room. Yeah, ma'am, this is a Hardee's. Yeah, we don't need any more of what she's got going on. Christ, man, the show just fucking zipped by tonight. We have so much that I couldn't possibly cover. God damn. But we did get through. Oh, by the way, can I just show you one quick thing? We're not going to do the whole sketch, and I'll let you guys go if you want to watch the debate and then the coverage of it afterwards, because I'm going to go watch some of that. Remember how Jimmy Dore was like, RFK, 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 RFK's the man. He's the shit. He's going to bring the thing because oops. RFK Jr.'s entire campaign field team quits. This is Jimmy Dore. Real quick, we're not going to do the whole thing because it's fucking 9 minutes and who needs it. But this is
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tweeted out, "Bravo to Bill Ackerman. It's time to hold college administrations responsible for the epidemic of campus anti-Semitism by insisting on zero tolerance policies."
By the way, these guys were Jimmy. That's Jimmy's problem, is because you can't have a zero tolerance towards anti-Semitism because that's half his act these days. But this is the thing that's getting him canceled. Like, they're like, fuck you.
So he's coming out against free speech now. So he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth.
No, he's coming out against anti-Semitism, not free speech. There's a difference, I would argue. Like hate speech, there's a distinction to be had there.
It's
not.
The SAG strike has ended. Hurrah! Hurrah!
By the way, I'm sure, what is the anti-Semitism? Did they pull down posters of the missing hostages?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, which is just, I mean, that's Kurt and Jimmy do that on, on date night.
Know what it is.
That's the one I keep seeing, and I keep going, but why are there posters?
No, they're punching people, motherfucker. They're walking around them and not letting Jews cross campus by holding up Palestinian, the drape that they have. They're holding it up like a sheet so they can't pass through it and cornering them. The fuck are you talking about?
Posters here? Are we supposed to
So, but the story here.
Oh, Wes, so far nothing from Dan Ball's people.
There is. Last Friday, RFK Jr.'s entire field team, led by Representative Dana Rohrabacher's wife, all quit.
How many people's that?
And that's Scott Horton. He's the Mr. Anti-War.
A, they don't know. And B, he's trying to make a joke that he never had any team to begin with. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Kurt has been pushing this idea that RFK was their savior for a while.
And
maybe get Peter down.
And so maybe get Peter down. So at the same time, his former campaign manager put this out. This is Dennis Kucinich's Substack, "The Math of Murder. The subjugation and annihilation of innocent civilians bombed into the dust of collateral damage does not support America, Israel, or the West. Claims for moral high ground and a path to peace." So a lot of people think that this is over RFK's rabid, crazy mental defense of the indefensible happening in Israel and Palestine.
Which there is no indefensible happening right there after the attack on December 7th. This got really complicated and really murky, really fucking quick. And again, you don't sexually assault someone and then ultimately murder them and have blood running down your fucking leg from the person that you just raped and then go, that was for my team. Get the fuck out of here.
Right now, it is indefensible. And
no, it isn't.
RFK Jr. gave a speech maybe a week or two.
Because he shit the bed with the Ashkenazi Jew thing with COVID, and he's been trying to sneak. What did I say? Yeah, October 7th. Yes.
Ago, where he was anti-China, anti-Iran, and anti-Venezuela, and he combined them all together. And
how is he anti those things?
It's just the opposite of what I thought he was.
Was he Sirhan?
Gee, it's almost like you're a shit judge of character and you have no idea. Does this motherfucker ever not turn on people if they're not if they don't pass some sort of fucking purity test? Has Jimmy ever picked anybody that actually did what he thought they were going to do and ever?
And did they just flip his murder switch?
Something happened. So here's what Dennis Kucinich wrote. He said on Tuesday, October 31st, 2023, the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu bombed a Palestinian refugee camp with 100,000 inhabitants, producing a hellscape of casualties, 50 dead, 150 injured, with buildings in collapse at the periphery of a massive bomb crater. The stated public intention was to kill a single Hamas commander.
Is this the one?
No. And also support for Hamas, the actual soldiers of Hamas around that. Most of the people in this, by the way, notice he says 100,000 inhabitants in this refugee camp, which is not a camp. It's a series of buildings. So, and those people were both told and directed and given support to move south and get out of there. Anybody who stayed behind, if you look at the bomb crater around that particular strike, it's a fucking sausage fest. There are no women and no little children anywhere in the area. It is all military-age men and the boys they keep around to run errands for them and bring them ammo and other shit. At this point, northern Gaza is a sausage fest. And the idea that it's a refugee camp of 100,000 inhabitants because it used to have 100,000 inhabitants in that neighborhood, and it's the same now. And if that was the case, you blow up a building that fucking size and 50 people die and 150 people are injured, it's a lie to start with. First of all, it's Hamas's numbers. Secondly, 100,000 people in that area and a bomb that size kills 50, then I guess the orders to evacuate are actually working. Secondarily, fuck this dude.
That broke Wolf Blitzer?
That's the one that broke Wolf Blitzer. There are 2 million Palestinians warehoused in the sliver of land 26 miles long, between 2 to 7 miles wide. A containment camp known as the Gaza Strip, holding indigenous peoples of the region hostage.
Jews are indigenous to the area too. So are Christians. So are fucking Sunni Arabs and Shia Arabs and Muslims and Arab tribes
Mr. Netanyahu has vowed to wipe out Hamas.
Right.
Which is
a distinction.
Estimated to have at least 40,000 members. If the ratio of 50-1 holds up, that is 50 Palestinians will die for every Hamas member killed.
No, that's why the United States and the Israeli government are insisting that people leave the area, and the people that stay behind are largely Hamas and are there for war and blah, blah, blah. Like, stop pretending this is as cut and dry and that October 7th never fucking happened. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point of this whole thing is and again, if we slice through stuff, when you're talking about a singular slice of it and you can't take in the entire complexity, it's always a dodge. The important thing in this video that you need to know is that anybody that Jimmy Dore picks as the next, shining light, golden example will fail him and will not only become, persona non grata around there, will, get their membership card in the Jimmy Dore, camp in the Waco that Jimmy Dore is setting up politically. They'll get, shunt like a fucking Amish prostitute. Not only that, but that they're more villainous than than members of Hamas, more villainous than Vladimir Putin, because they're only with you 80%. They're worse than the people who are against you 100%. It's super fucking lame. Anyways, that I just thought we'd dip into that part of it for a split second. And then can I show you the lead in, then I'll let you guys go. This is where the fuck is this pre-show for the debates tonight? This is Cary Lake sitting with Steve Bannon, who apparently did his hair for the first time ever, but is still wearing the same stank shirt. And they're set up in like Liberace's playroom or whatever. Look at these fucking chairs. This shit is that. And this grand piano and the wine on the wall. And these motherfuckers are going to... Please tell me the country is coming to a fucking end and there's no money anywhere and blah, blah, blah.
We got a lot of stuff, even news breaking on the border about what's coming out of the Senate, maybe a filibuster.
A filibuster of what? White or red? What wine goes with a filibuster? I'm going red.
The border's gotten pretty sexy for some Johnny-come-latelys, has it not? You've been fighting
pretty sexy for some Johnny-come-lately.
Fighting this for years.
We have been. I think we had the greatest border policy the country had ever seen.
COVID? It's weird. I mean, if you're gonna as ways of keeping people out of the country, an infectious disease is. Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice, but
I offered it, by the way, to any governor who wanted it, and
yeah, you just told them, like, hey, I lost my election. You should try this.
None of them wanted it, and now it's at critical mass. Everyone's realizing, oh my gosh, this is huge. This works so great, and it's one of the reasons why we lost all these elections last night.
The first act you were going to do as governor was challenge the Biden administration, the Biden regime, right?
Call it what it is, an invasion, and we were going to take control.
Really? You had to wait until you were elected to call it that? Didn't I hear you call it that when you were running and you lost?
Of our own border, which we have the right to do under the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3. When we're being invaded...
Yeah, but it's not an invasion. There's specific language around that because these people actually have to have kind of guns and formations, and they got to kind of do some shit, and hiding in and amongst like women and children and that kind of stuff. You don't use the same technique as much as you'd like to, I guess, Madam Pro-Life.
And the government's not doing anything to protect the people.
Well, they do have Customs and Border Patrol, and they do scan trucks coming into the country, and they do have surveillance, and so they are doing some stuff. They're just maybe not doing enough. Maybe a comprehensive immigration bill might be that.
The governor of the state can do that. And so that's what it's about.
No, the governor of a state cannot declare war on Mexico.
Finally figuring it out. Listen, I'm glad they're finally figuring it out. Get busy. Fund the border wall. Get it built. It can be done in weeks.
Well,
Yeah, it'd be weeks, and it won't fall over.
This is why we need you in the Senate.
Construction only takes days.
Because you know more. You've forgotten more about the border than most of those guys know. So...
I know he meant that as a compliment, but...
Even as we're speaking here...
The smell is wafting across to her and making her look more dour and sour than we even thought possible.
Not that the Senate's listening to us, but they...
No, none of them. No one's listening to you. Where the fuck are you? What is this place? Are you in some sort of furniture store for rich douchebags?
Announced they're going to do...
Where is this?
A filibuster. I think on all the spending bills, it looks like NBC News was reporting, because of fundamental changes to border policy, not even the funding, but to border policy around the asylum system they gamed. That shows you why your voice is needed. I mean, if you were there for that filibuster, it'd be a game changer.
Well, we're going to win, and we're going to get President Trump in office, and we're going to turn this around. I hope they get busy before then, because I don't know how much more America can take. But I think they're seeing the day is coming. Trump's going to win. We're going to secure the border.
Nope.
Start it now. Start it now.
Yeah, do it now, because, if we wait until he wins, we'll be waiting forever.
Can't take much more. We don't know who's coming in. We are at great risk because of...
Have you seen some of these toddlers? Clearly, they're Mexican jihadis.
The cartels controlling the border.
Yeah, where is Mel Torme? It's a good question, chat room.
This audience is interested in Cary Lake and her campaign. So walk us through.
No, this audience is wondering why there isn't someone playing the piano in the background to kind of give us all some... spice up this interview a little bit.
We got 10 minutes. Walk me through everything. The fights you...
Yeah, we got 10 minutes. I'm not going to really listen. Just talk to the camera, because I'm...
Still got in Arizona in this campaign for the Senate.
They're in my town? Oh, yes, I know. Yeah. I just don't care.
I want to go back a little way.
Yeah, take it back.
And a lot of people have said, wait a minute, you're running for Senate? What about the election cases? Have you
what about
given up?
Yeah, have you given up? Have you recognized that you're a fucking loser?
Absolutely not.
No, I have not. I am governor. I'm just running to lose the Senate seat as a fake governor. Towards what? They're moving forward towards an abyss, or?
Somebody was mad. Why are you running? You've given up. And I thought.
Yeah, they were so mad.
I wanted to say Twitter tough guy. What have you done?
No, what have you done? Fucking Twitter tough guy. What have you done? Huh? I lost an election and pretended I didn't. What have you done for America? Foreign account, talking through a VPN, pretending to be Joe from Idaho. Who the fuck are you?
Do you care about our elections?
Yeah. Do you even care about our elections? I mean, more so than you're being paid as a Macedonian hacker to influence our elections, pretending to be an American. I mean, honestly, tough guy.
We do, and we are continuing to move our cases forward. We need people's help. Save Arizona Fund, FUND, save...
Oh, fuck off. All right, not doing an ad. I'm going to let you guys go so you can go watch the, if you want to, or probably going to watch the MSNBC follow-up. So they'll show clips and shit like that. That'll be plenty for most of us. But anyways, I adore you. I'll see you tomorrow in the afternoon. Remember, it's an hour later on Thursdays. And I'm also going to we're going to arrange tomorrow a special afternoon show early with Boston Brian. When he gets off work, I'm going to bring him on exhausted, the hardworking blue-collar hero that he is, and have him come on and do this. And I'd just like to remind you tonight, I want you to contemplate one thing. The sadness in Brian Kilmeade's face. I just want you to, if there's one thing that's happened to this entire show, how miserable Brian Kilmeade and Sean Hannity look tonight should put a spring in your step for fucking weeks. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And don't forget, if there's one thing I want you to, I mean, there are some serious things like the kidney. You know, that you might want to consider. It's just be worrisome.
I'm your huckleberry. I'm just a happy camper.
Sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Arizona Fund is how you can help pay our attorneys so that they continue. These people are so evil that they're trying to disbar my attorneys. They are worried about our cases. Our cases are effective. They will actually help secure the 24 election.
Cases.
Our case. It's going into the appellate court right now. They're trying to drag things out, of course, but we're filing a brief here in the next week or so, and I think it's going to be blockbuster. But we have to continue these cases. I believe that one of them will help crack this whole thing open and change going forward so 24 is secure.
Can Cary Lake and Donald Trump win in 2024?
We can win in a landslide.
Yes, but can you beat, I know the audience is going to blow me up right now, but can you beat the cheating that you know they're going to do in Arizona?
I think things have gotten so bad that people are going to show up in such massive numbers that they won't be able to cheat their way around it. And that's why they're trying to lock up President Trump. That's why they're trying to dissuade me from even being on the ticket. Remember when they tried to bribe me for being on the ticket? That's why they're, I've got the Perkins Coie.
Tell folks that.
I've got the Perkins Coie attorneys threatening me and trying to get me to stop the case. So we're going to go on the offense, and I've asked the Arizona Bar Association to investigate and consider removing this person's license. If they can play that game, we can as well. Yeah, I had some political operative show up at my door back in March, offer a big paycheck, a prestigious position, a place on a board, if I would just sit out the 24 election. The funny thing is, at that moment, I wasn't really thinking of getting into the 24 election. But what I've realized is what they pulled a year ago tomorrow in Arizona was a way to stop our movement, a populist movement, to turn this country around and get it on the right track. And if I don't remain in politics, then we're giving them, the corrupt individuals, the swamp, the victory. And I'm not willing to give them that victory. We're putting everything on the line this next year. I will sacrifice everything for this victory to get to D.C., help President Trump get his agenda moved through quickly, and restore America to our greatest days. I believe our greatest days are ahead, even through all that we're suffering right now. So if you want to get behind me and our campaign, CaryLake.com, our polling is showing that we win in a two-way race or a three-way, but obviously we want to move those margins way up.
Big time.
Because we don't have the election reform that we need. So I encourage you to, if you care about elections, Save Arizona Fund and support our cases.
This is reality. You don't go and you're not a supplicant to a lot of big donors or corporatists. You're a populist, nationalist, America first. This has got to be backed by the people. So how do people find out more about what's going on, where they can see you, other like policy papers you're putting out, and then how they can support you? Everybody loves, tonight this thing will be packed. People love seeing Cary Lake live. How else can they do it?